Hey guys, I'm getting there. Give me a minute. Excuse me. Oh my god. Dude, it's like 3 minutes. Getting everything situated. I've been a busy bee. All right, let's turn this music off. We might as well get started. As soon as I remember how to turn the music off. Okay, there we go. Hey, welcome back to the EDC Squirrel. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody is having a good one. Hey, BT. Hey, NFK. Welcome to the stream. I don't know if Morgan's going to make it tonight, or today, I should say. I know she's been pretty busy. I've been pretty busy. I've had... Oh, Alexa, shut up! Really? I'm going to mute you. It's been a busy week. I had my birthday week just finished, and had family over. So it's been pretty crazy, which is why I haven't really done a whole lot video-wise. I skipped last week's live, but we're back, and I'm ready to go. I don't actually have a whole lot of boxes to open up, but I did open up quite a few boxes. Hey, I got this, PT. But I do have a few boxes, and I do have a lot that I've opened up within the last week. And I'm still going to share those with you guys, as well as probably do some knife cleaning and maintenance, and just chat it up and see how everybody's been doing. So let me make sure I've got everything. Where's my other knife? As a knife collector, trying to find a knife. Here we go. Okay. So here we go. We've only got, like I said, a few that I have to unbox. We'll start with those. And then we'll go on to a lot of the other knives that I unboxed previously, and we'll show you what new stuff came in. Now, the 3 boxes that I got, I actually just got these yesterday, which is why they haven't been opened up. I've got one from Kevin67, who is a seller on Whatnot. Kevin67 MSU. I don't know what this is. I don't even know if this is a knife, to be quite honest. It's really light. It might have been a giveaway. It might have been something else entirely. But we'll start off with this one. As soon as I can figure out how to open the box. There we go. And I'm getting ink all over my hands. I love this thing, except it takes forever to dry. I might just start using stickers as opposed to using this ink to cover up addresses and stuff, because it takes forever to dry and end up with ink all over my hands. Okay. That's not opening up still. I'm trying to be careful because I really don't know what's in here. I don't want to cut into anything I shouldn't be cutting into. Stone! How are you doing? Stone hands. Is it Stone Hands? My eyes are horrible. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so this is the first box I've got. And, need a cloth. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to blank these out a lot earlier. This one is a box full of packing peanuts. Let me make sure there's no invoice in here. Okay. Oh, I know what this was. Okay. This is not a knife. I remember this now. Excuse my cough. My cough has been horrible. This one I bought this in order to get into a buyer's giveaway. And well, partially to get into a buyer's giveaway, and partially because I couldn't ignore it because of what it was. It's a hat pin. And I had to get it because this particular hat pin is a case hat pin in the shape of a squirrel. Let me get out of the bag. It's in the shape of a squirrel. and I wasn't going to be able to ignore that one. I had to pick it up. So no, this is not a knife. It is knife related. It is knife adjacent. Case, which makes some absolutely amazing traditional knives. I've got a few of them. I'll be showing a few that I did pick up in a little while. But I thought this was pretty neat. Yes, definitely needed that. Hey, Waylon, how you doing? Glad you can make it. So that was a case knife. That was from Kevin67 MSU. Not a knife, but close enough, and very happy to have it. Let me grab the other box. Again, I only have 3, and then I'll go over a bunch of other stuff. This one is from Appalachia Freeze-Dried Knives. Another one of my favorite sellers on Whatnot. Not just for the knives, but he sells a lot of freeze-dried candy. And I'm pretty sure I've acquired diabetes because of him. Let me make sure I've got no invoice sitting here. I do have a thank you so much and happy birthday. Oh, he said happy birthday. That's from Appalachia. This is going to be from Appalachia Freeze-Dried Knives. What do I have in here? That was the invoice. So we've got, I'm feeling around in here. Okay, we got a knife. I'm pretty sure that's a box. And I've got packing peanuts everywhere. Oh, we got a couple things in here. Oh, what is this? What? Okay, is that everything? That's everything. I know I got a knife from him, but what the heck is this? We've got... Oh! Did he include a case with this one? I think he did. I've got a leather... Lego. Got a leather case from him. This one, he's got a nice herringbone pattern button. Sweet! Little belt loop. Can't wait to use that. And here's what I got from Appalachia Freeze-Dried Knives. Don't cut my... Thanks for mentioning that, because I probably will now. Another one from Cobra Tech. I've really been liking Cobra Tech lately. I got my first knife was an automatic from them. And it's probably one of my favorite. Let me grab it real quick so you know what I'm talking about. Oh, let me turn off this other mic. There we go. I hope it's not echoing. Is that better? Okay. This is the first knife I got from Cobra Tech. It's called their Hidden Trapper. And ever since then, I've really, really liked their knives. I've got a few more, and their quality has been absolutely fantastic. This one's an automatic. I've showed this before with the abalone. And that was my first introduction to them. And have always, or since then, been very excited to get more stuff from them. This one, I believe, is going to be a traditional, is what I got. Here we go. Oh, we get a quality control initial who checked the knife before it went out. This is their warranty card. There's a code there that I got to enter in as soon as I'm done with the live to activate the lifetime warranty. Yeah, this one's from Appalachia. I get a lot of traditionals from Chasing Blades as well. Although I don't have a box from him, I do have some stuff here from Chasing Blades. This is a Cobra Tech Trapper, and I believe this was done in G10. Let me look this one up because... Hold on a second. I couldn't remember what I was unboxing, so I couldn't really look these up beforehand. Let's see. Yeah, this one's the G10. Traditional 2-blade trapper. And on their website, and same with Appalachia, this one ran $49.99. You've got a California clip blade, mirror finish. Let me go ahead and clean my fingerprints off of that. Probably got Appalachia's fingerprints on there as well. No mid stop, but really good snap when I open it. And it's got VG10 steel, which is kind of unusual for most. Let me see if I can get that without. Yeah, kind of hard to see with the light. Oh yeah, Cobra Tech trappers. I've got another one. You'll see it later. VG10. There's the Cobra Tech insignia, as well as their little badge on the handle. G10 scales, which is you don't see on too many traditional knives, but looks really cool. I like the pattern on that. But a California clip blade and a spay blade. No half stop, so got to be a little careful there. Let's clean that off. And like I was saying, VG10 steel, which is not something you see too often on traditional knives. Usually it's like a 440 stainless. Pretty decently clean well. I'll probably still, every traditional knife I get, one of the first things I do is kind of like flush them out. I will practically dip these in oil and clean out any gunk that might be left in there from the machining. Hey, Size, I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome to the stream. Saw a squirrel carrying one of these. It was kind of scary. Wait, carrying one of these? It was me. Oh, okay. Makes sense. What am I carrying today? Well, I'm at home, so I don't generally carry too much, but what do I have next to me today? I have one of my concepts. It's this one here. This is the Sipiter. This is one of the Concept's budget offerings. It's a front flipper only. But one of my favorite knives. Green micarta handle. And about a 3-inch, just under 3-inch blade. Liner lock. That's what I'm carrying with me. Or at least have next to me. Actually, I have a lot of knives next to me. That one I carry pretty often. A lot of times if I step out, I'll also carry this one, which is the Kaiser Mini Militar. This one is in D2. And I have another Militar, I believe, in Nitro V. This one goes out with me a lot. But this Cobra Tech is nice. I really have been going kind of bonkers over traditional knives lately. I've got so many Rough Riders. I've ended up with quite a few case knives as well. And these Cobra Techs are really cool. Nice snap on the blade. Really impressed with Cobra Tech lately. Super impressed. And you guys will see why. I've got I got another one, couple I've got to show you eventually. And how's this going to fit in there? Let's see how well that fits. Oh, could use a little stretch, but otherwise that shouldn't be too bad. Might have to work that leather a little bit. Regardless, if I can't use it for this, I'll be able to use it on another one. So I can't complain. Pretty sweet knife. Okay, we're going to move on because there's a lot I want to show you guys. So that one is, where did I put the box of this? This one again from Cobra Tech, their G10 traditional 2-blade trapper. And I got to remember to activate that warranty. Where did I put the cards? Their lifetime warranty in that. Didn't they come with non-edible candy? Maybe it didn't. Okay. So that one's off to the side. Let me make sure I'm not mixing up my boxes here. Okay. And let me put that other one away. There we go. Okay, last box to open up. This one is from Titan Knives. Titan International. Excuse me. Another favorite seller of mine on Whatnot. I've got quite a few knives from them. Morgan, you didn't get a notification. No, I didn't get any candy today. I have more than enough candy. I don't need any more candy. Really do not need any more candy. As much as I enjoy the candy. This one is from Titan. The latest one I got from Titan. And Let's open this up. Titan is another one of my favorite sellers and whatnot. If I'm gonna get Damascus steel, more often than not, unless it's a very specific case, I'm gonna get it from him. I trust his Damascus. His stuff is just stellar, and that's weird. Never seen him wrap it like this before. Anything else in here? Nope. Okay, that just caught me by surprise because normally they're just kind of in the box. YouTube's being witchy today, no doubt. Let's. I gotta fix my screen here. Okay, here we go. So this one is from Titan International Knives. There's their website right there. They also sell on Whatnot, which is how I discovered them. And they're actually kind of local to me. They're not too far of a drive for me, about an hour and a half away or so. And what I got here, again, this is just weird because I've never seen him wrap something like this. I don't know if there's anything different in here, so I'm going to be really careful in unwrapping. Or either that, or you just took extra care. Oh, there's a lot of oil. He always takes care to oil his knives generously because they are made out of true Damascus steel, meaning it's a mix of normally it's a mix of high carbon and stainless. And oh yeah, okay, I almost forgot which one this was. This is the other trapper I got from him. I got a trapper from him before that I was really impressed with, and I had to get the other one. This one is done in a black bone, and you can see, ooh, you can see quite a bit of milk on that bone. When I say milk, a lot of people that collect traditional knives, they call the white areas milk, and it's generally uh, where the ink or the dye or whatever they use for the bone. It's generally where the dye doesn't take too well to the bone and then leaves these interesting patterns. The white areas they call milk. And that's one of the ways, or one of the reasons why no two bone knives are ever going to really look the same. And you can see it's even, or I should say, it's not even. And that's just because really the natural materials they used for the scales on this knife. This one is pretty. The other reason why I wanted the trapper from Titan is, again, they do a lot of Damascus. And does this have a half stop? Not really. Maybe a little bit. And I really like their Damascus steel. Again, a mixture of high carbon and stainless. I can't remember the exact steels they used. I know I've asked him on a number of occasions and he's answered. My brain just sucks and I always forget. But we got a California clip point, just like your standard trapper. The next one's going to be a spade blade. And this is, oh, whoa, okay. That's different. That's more like a clip point. I was expecting a more rounded spade blade. Not that I'm disappointed or anything, but that's pretty cool. Always need to see something different on a trapper. Trappers are probably one of my favorite patterns. Trapper being this two blade type of configuration, both on one side. Again, this one is pretty heavily oiled. I don't know what oil he uses. Mineral oil, sunflower oil. No, I have no idea. Sometimes he'll use cooking oil. I don't know. Either way, it's just to help prevent corrosion. Again, because these are Damascus steel and high carbon is used in the mix. But that looks absolutely beautiful. I love the Damascus that they come out with. I'm really liking this one. Two blade trapper. I didn't test out. I didn't test out the blades before. Let's see how he did on the sharpening. I'm gonna judge sales sharpening, Titan sharpening. Okay. A little bit of a burr there, I think. but I can clean that up no problem. Otherwise, actually not too bad. I've got the reason why I like Titan blades so much is they do a lot better job at finishing than a lot of the other places that I've gotten like really cheap, and I'm going to use the word cheap, Damascus steel knives, where a lot of times those cheap ones I've gotten and you couldn't cut butter with the darn things. I mean, I'd have to completely reprofile the edge on them. Whereas this one just has a bit of a burr and is easy enough to clean up. He's got so many knives. I know he likes to finish them before he gets them out. I know he's got a lot of knives though that he has to deal with. And it's not a very big operation. So I kind of understand that the finishing might not always be perfect. So I'm just going to run this over on my sharpening tool. I'm not really removing a whole lot. It's more of smoothing out that edge or removing that burr that I was feeling. And then we'll see how that does after I do this. Okay. Let's see how that is now. Oh, I already feel a difference. Already feel a difference. Let's see how that goes. Oh, yeah. Still a little bit. I mean, I can work on it a little bit more, but that's already much better. If I took a little bit more time, I could probably shave with this. I was just trying to do a quickie and remove that burr, and already a vast improvement. But this again is from Titan Knives or Titan International. Really love their Damascus steel. I love the look of this dark bone. It's almost like a gray or like a dark blue black. I really, really like it. I love the file work they do on the back of these. Very pretty. Hey, Donald. You saved your sticker for your beer fridge? Oh, excuse me. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, that one, gorgeous. And I know that was technically the last box I had to open, but I did during my vacation. I'm still on vacation, but during the time that I had family here, I did open a few packages, and I got actually quite a few packages. Because I mean, come on, I'm going to be waiting 2 weeks to open a box for my next live. I couldn't wait. I had to open them. So now that we've unboxed that one from Titan, I'm going to show you what came in prior to that. I did get a couple or another Titan knife from them. This one is a fixed blade. Now, on a previous unboxing, you guys might have seen this one. I really like the bone handle on this. It's got a pretty decent amount of wax on the blade because this is actually sitting out on a stand that I got from Morgan for my birthday. I'll show you guys the stand in a little bit. But there's quite a bit of wax on the blade, so it doesn't look like a mirror finish, but believe me, it is a mirror finish. And I just really love the bone handle. I believe this is a bone and stag combination. But a very beautiful knife. Great fixed blade, feels great in the hand. That as soon as I saw it, I noticed he had a Damascus steel version that matched it perfectly. I had to get its brother. There we go. That's better. This one done in Damascus steel. Otherwise, Same handle, bone and stag. Beautiful patterning on the blade. That's another one that came in from Titan that I'm very happy with, very impressed. Let me grab that stand that Morgan got me. She got me a really cool looking stand. There's already some knives on it, so I got to be careful. And this is going to be kind of weird because this is a top-down camera. But otherwise, I guess this is how it would look if you were facing it. But pretty neat. And I've been slowly putting my favorite knives on here. Oh, that one fell. That one's small. That tends to be a little harder for it to hold. But those go on just like that. I know that'll go on there. Kinda. It was on there before. There we go. And they go on just like that. Hey, Kyle, how you doing? But thank you again, Morgan. That was awesome. Worse than a kid in Christmas. Let me go ahead and carefully put this away. Don't need to drop that on my foot. But since I unboxed the Titan knife, I had to show you guys the other Titans that I got that you guys missed out on unboxing because I didn't hold that live last week. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go over those knives, or the rest of those knives that you guys didn't get to see me unbox. And I'm going to start off with one that I know that Morgan's going to love. I have been collecting these for a while now. I can't help it. I love them or hate them. I'm getting close to having every single one of these that I can get my hands on. And this one is called the Bling. Yes, of course I'm using it, Morgan. You think I wasn't going to use it? That thing's awesome. This is the Rough Rider Bling. And Morgan can probably already guess what this is. It is a lady's leg, and probably the most atrocious looking lady's leg that I've come across yet, that I had to get. This one I got on Whatnot. I'm going to completely forget who I got it from. But this is done in rhinestone. I mean, come on, look at that thing. That thing is gorgeous. It's a lady's. Look at it. Hold on. It's not even cut. I know I cleaned the lens on this camera, so that's absolutely beautiful. I do believe this is actual bone. Let me take a closer look with my eyeballs here. I do believe this is actual pink dyed bone. These are actual, I'm guessing, rhinestones. Maybe cubic zirconia. I have no idea. Yeah, it is gaudy as hell. You got the stones on both sides, and you can see they're actual stones. They're not just like images. You can feel them there. Interesting scroll work on the bolsters as well. We can get that to focus right. Pretty cool scroll work on those bolsters. And you've got some etching on the blade itself. I forgot, I think like a 2.1 or 2.2 inch blade. And it says on the blade, it says Bling. I couldn't ignore this one. I had to have it. I've got a pretty sizable collection of these lady leg knives. I couldn't help myself when I saw them for the first time, because they reminded me of one of my favorite Christmas movies, A Christmas Story, and the Lady Leg Lamp. And since then, anytime I see a new one pop up, I had to go and get it. And I forgot how many I have in my collection already. Most of them are from, I think actually all of them are from Rough Rider. I think I do have one coming in from Marbles. Unfortunately, it's not here yet. I didn't make it in time for the unboxing. But otherwise, this has to be the most gaudy lady's leg I've seen ever. It's a hooker knife. I might have to get some I might have to get a little bit of like really small lace. I went too far with these. I'm gonna have to get a little bit of like black lace. I'm gonna make a garter wrap for these things. I still want to make like I still want to make a knife a pillar with a bunch of these legs and maybe a long like melon tester knife. I don't know. I just think these are hilarious. I love them. I know there are people that can't stand them, but I love these things. I don't know what it is. They're just weird. I like the weird. I like the weird knives. Excuse me. Good God, my cough. Okay. Another one, I actually did a video on this before, but this one came in during that time. This one was from Monthly Knife Club. And I joined a thing called Monthly Knife Club. It's costing me roughly about, I think the plan, they have several different plans. The plan that I'm in is their name brand, like mid-tier knife. And I think it runs about $55 a month. I think $60 with shipping and handling. But every month I get a surprise knife from Monthly Knife Club. And this was the latest one. This is from Best Tech. Am I getting that right? I don't think it was Best Tech Man. I'm pretty sure it was Best Tech. I don't know where I put the box to this. This wasn't from Best Tech. It's a small one. Less than 2.5-inch blade, but a really neat one. I'll show you as soon as I open up. You got a thumb hole that you can use to open it, or it's not really a front flipper, it's a top flipper. Blue G10 scales. The pocket clip, unfortunately, it's not a deep carry, but the pocket clip is not reversible. And it's not easy to spider flick this one. So I tend to use the top flipper more. It happens to be a really small hole. And it is interesting kind of hawkbill. Really cool blade. Now again, this one has a bit of wax on the blade. I'll go ahead and you can clean that up a little bit. But Ostep, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the designer's name right. Ostap Hell Design. You can see the etching here. That's the designer. I've seen the name before on other designs. And this is a 14C28N steel blade. One of my favorite steels for budget knives. I forgot how much this thing was. Like I said, I pay $55 for the plan. And if I remember correctly, I looked it up and I think this was close to a $70 knife. Really small one. I do like the fact that it's got a less than 2.5-inch blade because that makes it capable, or it's something I can carry to even the more restricted areas where they drop the blade length limit down to 2.5 inches. And even though it's such a small knife, because of this because of this generous finger choil up here, I can get a full grip on this thing without any problem. And you got some jimping on the back, so you can get a nice purchase with your thumb for really precise control over your cutting. And it's just neat to have a knife this small, because I have other knives that are just the same size, or if not smaller, and they're a little awkward to hold because you can't get a very, it just doesn't feel like you can get a very good grip on them. But this one has a very comfortable grip. I really like the profile of the blade for general use, cutting like packages, tape, rope, things like that, because of that reverse or that hawkbill shape. But a really neat knife. And another great drop from Monthly Knife Club. It's knives like these and some of the later or previous offerings I've gotten from them that's going to continue to keep me in that club, or at least until I run out of cash. It is a captive liner lock. You can see there, and a pretty generous cut on the side, so I don't have to dig my nail in to close the blade. Very compact, pretty damn cool. I really like it. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. But that's another cool one that I unboxed earlier. We're catching up on stuff that I unboxed during my vacation. And since I didn't hold a stream, another bunch of knives that I've got. I'm not going to unbox all of these, but I might have gone a little case insane. I got more than a few case knives. One of them was a present for my girlfriend, which I believe was this one, a Mediterranean Blue Bone Peach Siege. Good God, the names. Pocket worn Mediterranean Blue Bone Peach Seed Jig Sodbuster Jr. And I keep that one in this leather sheath, a leather slip, I should say. This one was a present for my girlfriend, and this is called a Sodbuster Junior. It's a type of patterning. They call it Sodbuster. It's a single blade, non-locking, so it's a slip joint, traditional style knife. Yeah, tiny bit of a case addiction. You should see. You think that's a lot? You should see my Rough Rider collection. Um, Again, this is a case knife. These run, I like to say, on average around 70 some odd dollars. Single blade drop point. Yeah, single blade drop point. Again, normally a mirror finish. However, I wax everything. But I keep this in a slip because this one I do carry around with me on occasion. It's just a great, good looking utility knife. You can see the jigging feels really good in the hand. That nice amount of milk where the die didn't quite take to the bone, and this is a natural bone handle. And just with your typical case quality. Now, I don't know what it is with case lately, but I noticed that they tend to leave a bit of a burr on their blades when I've been unboxing them. Not a big deal. And the interesting thing is what I will do is I will run the blade over a very fine ceramic stone and then strop it. And as soon as that uh, I forgot the word I was looking for. What the word I just used? As soon as that bit is taken off, that I can't remember the word for all of a sudden, um, the blade ends up being razor sharp. Oh, burr. That's the word I was looking for. I don't know why it left my brain. Once I remove that burr, the edge becomes razor sharp. I mean, I can shave with this thing. And all I need to do is just remove the burr that, for some odd reason, they tend to leave. I don't know why, but it doesn't take much. Quick strop, and I could shave with this thing. Absolutely love this knife. Again, an awesome present for my girlfriend. Absolutely gorgeous blue. And that one, yes, I do take with me on occasion, mainly because it's just such a good utility knife to have, and another way to keep my girlfriend with me when I'm out and about. And it's a nice herringbone case slip that I purchased previously. I believe I got this one from Chasing Blades and whatnot. So that's that one. Now I'm not going to open all these because a lot of these are actually a similar. They're like a similar color that I've become really attracted to. And but the only difference in these three boxes, they're the same type of die job, but just different patterns. And we'll open up, like this one is the same as the one I just showed you for my girlfriend, except it's called a green apple, so it's colored in green. I'm going to open one of these other ones so you can see. This one's a mini, and this one is a regular size trapper. I think we'll open that one. But I've gotten really, really enamored with these green apples, and a gorgeous green and yellowish color. I don't know what it is. It makes me snack hungry. I think part of the reason they called it a green apple But I find the coloring on these knives to be absolutely beautiful. Again, this one is a trapper, and the other ones that I have a mini trapper, which is basically the same, except the blades are a little shorter. I think just under 3 inches, where this one is like a 3 1/4 inch blade for both the California clip point and the spay. But I just really love the coloring. And again, I have a Sodbuster Junior, just like the one that was in the slip case, except in the same coloring. So I'm not going to pull all of them out. But absolutely gorgeous color on this. Again, I've been nabbing a lot of these up. They have other patterns, um, like muskrat patterns, Stockman patterns with 3 blades. I'm happy with these. My favorites tend to be the trappers like this one with the 2 blades, or the Sodbusters, or if I can find them, mini doctors, which are small doctor knives. But that's what these look like. I unboxed all these earlier last week. I just love the color. Gorgeous. And so the other ones are going to look pretty much the same or very similar. That same green apple coloring, just in a different pattern. But that's the green apples. We're going to put this one back for now. I realize I probably have more knives than I can carry in a year. But that's what happens when you collect. But this is just something, it's one of those things that you just like to look at. It's just neat to have in your collection. I don't collect to sell. I collect for the enjoyment of collecting. And these will be handed down to family eventually at some point, I'm sure. What they do with it, I don't know. But a nice little heirloom, I guess, for family at some point, eventually. Hopefully not for a very long time. But those are some of the case knives that I've got. The other case knife that I did pick up that you won't see here, I keep in a case because that one is also another one that I carry. And it's currently in my hard case. Where are you? This one is called a 6.5 Bone Stag Trapper. And they call it a 6.5 Bone Stag Trapper because it's bone scales done to look like stag or staghorn. And this again is a trapper with 2 blades. This is Blue's retirement plan. Again, very heavily waxed. This one I do carry around with me, not because it's well, I mean, I don't know. Some knives I have this thing like I'm not going to say that this one is ugly. This, to me, this knife is absolutely gorgeous. But there are some knives I admit I have a little harder time carrying because they're almost too pretty, and I'm going to show you another example of that eventually later in the stream. This one's interesting because it's got your California clip blade, but it doesn't have a spay blade. It's got a Warncliffe blade, as opposed to the spay blade you'll normally see on a trapper. And I love Warncliffe and sheepsfoot blades for their utility. And that's actually why I ended up snapping it up. It has nothing, not as much to do with how gorgeous the scales look on this one, because personally, I do love this look. If you notice the Titan knives that I have, I love this almost natural burnt bone look. And on this 6.5 Trapper, this is no exception. Absolutely razor sharp. I felt that blade on my skin. I don't think I cut myself, though. I should be good. I don't see any blood yet. Really beefy trapper. See there how thick some of that bone gets? Almost an hourglass figure. but absolutely gorgeous. And the interesting jigging on the bone makes for a very solid grip on that, aside from just it looking fantastic. But another one that I didn't unbox live that I wanted to show you, and then we're gonna move on to another one. I had a lot. I've been a busy bee. Let me go ahead and put this back in the case. Ugh. Clean my closet out, and now I have more room for more knives and stuff. Unfortunately, I filled that room with more knives and stuff. And now I'm lacking room again. Okay, where was I? Coffee. Need coffee. Grab yourself something to drink. Okay. So we showed you some case knives. Oh, almost missed the coffee. Showed you some case knives. Excuse me. The majority of my traditional collection, however, tends to revolve around Rough Rider. And the reason why I like Rough Rider so much is because they have some really beautiful knives. And the cool thing is, like this, like that ladylike bling knife, they're not very expensive. In fact, this knife, I think this was under $10. And even though they're not very expensive, they the quality of the Rough Riders has been absolutely fantastic. Now, they might not be at the level of case, but for something like a sub $10 knife or a sub $20 knife, they're absolutely amazing. I'm trying to find room for these boxes. They're absolutely amazing. Like, if I were to get like a sub 10 or sub $20 modern knife, more often than not, kind of junky. There haven't been too many knives under too many modern knives under the $20 price point that I haven't had an issue with. And she always got her strap on. Lone Star, welcome to the stream. One case was, oh, where did I put it? And I think this was one that I opened up. Oh, actually, I should have showed you guys. I think I didn't have it opened up during a live stream either. I did a video on it. Oh, there it is. I did a video on it. Okay, we're gonna do a little detour. I did a little video on this. This is an SRM knife. Now, normally, I've been very impressed with SRM. I've got a few SRM knives. The Rubik was really impressive. I can't remember what this one was called. It's gigantic. That one was really cool. Is the Rubik or no? That's not the Rubik. That's another SRM. But all the knives I've gotten from SRM, they're pretty inexpensive. They're not very expensive knives. That's not the Rubik. Of course, the Rubik's gonna be the last one I pull out. This was the Rubik. This was the first SRM knife I've gotten, and I started acquiring a few more because of how nice I thought this one was. This is a Rubik crossbar lock done in green G10, I believe. Really smooth operation. Really, actually, really nice knife. And I've been getting, as you saw, a few more. This is the latest one I got. I didn't do it in a live unboxing, but this is kind of where, or what I'm talking about. Everything I've gotten from SRM has been great. This one runs about $19.99. So this just hit their 20 or sub $20 mark, or a sub $20 mark. And when modern knives start getting that inexpensive, I start noticing issues. Now this one on the onset isn't too bad. It's actually really sharp, really interesting blade. It's like a modified Tonto. You can see there's a secondary point right there. And it's got a little bit of a back swoop. So it's like a combination Tonto and Persian style blade. You got a thumb disc as opposed to a stud. I can get this to focus. You got a thumb disc as opposed to a stud to flick the blade open, or you can use a crossbar lock. But the problem I'm finding, as you can see, hold on, close. Really? As you can see with this one, is there's so much friction in the pivot. Now this is supposedly this one supposedly has steel bearings at the pivot, so I would have expected it to be much smoother, but it runs so tight that there's so much friction. It's really hard to even flick out sometimes without giving an exaggerated wrist flick to get the blade to pop out. If I don't do that exaggerated wrist flick, it's not going to go anywhere. And as you can see, it takes a good deal of flicking to get that to close. And what I've had to do is go in there and loosen the pivot in order to get that blade to move a little bit more. Now, the other problem is that once you loosen that pivot and you get to the point where you can get the blade to flick in and out, as soon as you do that, you get a little bit of blade play. Now, it doesn't move up and down at all. So as far as that crossbar, the lockup's pretty solid. But you start to get a little movement side to side. Now, right as I have it, I've gotten to the point where I can get the blade to flick out with some exaggerated movement, and I don't get the blade play. But if I were to loosen that any bit more, I get blade play in there. It starts to move side to side. And one thing I noticed is now this is the 9211 GW is the model. And I've gotten reports from others that have experienced the same problem where they'll get the knife. As soon as they get the knife and it comes in, they'll notice that there's a lot of friction. Like, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hold this crossbar lock down. So it's now unlocked and should be free to move. But you can see there's a lot of friction on that blade that it actually holds itself up, even though I've got that lock fully disengaged. And if I were to loosen that pivot anymore, I start to get side-to-side blade movement. Now, again, this is a very, very inexpensive knife. This thing is like $19.99 or $19, just under 20. So for somebody that's looking for a knife that's really, really inexpensive and is willing to overlook that, I mean, there you go. It is a pretty decent blade. It's a HCR 13 MOV, so it's not like a high-end steel. It is stainless steel. And it did come in sharp as hell, like super sharp. They did a really good finishing job on that edge. It's just kind of disappointing. Like, I want to be disappointed, and I kind of am. But at the same time, it was less than $20. So, I mean, take that for what you will. It's a cheap knife. Thankfully, there are other offerings from SRM. Now, these obviously are a little bit more expensive. All these knives, I think, are at the very least twice as expensive as this one, like $40 and up. And they've all been absolutely stellar. But to give you an idea of how that crossbar should be, let me grab... Do I have a crossbar lockout here? Oh, I don't. I just realized I don't have a crossbar lockout. Let me check my cases. But every other crossbar lock that I have, and to be quite honest, probably one of the best examples of a crossbar lock, as soon as I can find it, There we go. One of the best examples of a crossbar lock, in my opinion, come from Kaiser. And this is a Kaiser drop bear. This one's a crossbar lock. Absolutely favorite crossbar locks from Kaiser. This one and the, I want to say Bulldog, which I didn't pull out. I don't know why, but the Bulldog's another favorite. Also a crossbar lock. Really fast, smooth operation from the Kaiser drop bear. But watch what happens when I pull on the crossbar lock. That is smooth. It is very smooth. And as soon as I actuate that lock, that blade just drops. And it's kind of a shame. Again, I want to complain about it, and I kind of am, but it's only $20. It's like less than $20. And it does state that these are supposed to be steel ball bearings that are in there. But I've had, like you said, Lone Star, I've had knives with washers that have smoother movement than this does. So yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment. But again, at the same time, it's also super cheap. I mean, look, if you were to compare the two in terms of just crossbar locks, this is a sub $20 knife. This is like a $70 knife. But in my opinion, much more worth it than even the $20 SRM. And again, I have no problems with the other SRMs. The other SRMs are absolutely fantastic in my opinion. I love them. They've been absolutely great. Real smooth operation. This one's a liner lock. Quick and fast to deploy. But it's just that one really inexpensive one that was kind of a surprise. But again, it's cheap. So, I mean, can you really complain? I mean, I guess you can, but at the same time, you didn't really spend a whole lot on it. So, I mean, what do you really expect? But that was one of the ones that I got from SRM that also was unboxed last couple weeks that you guys didn't get to see. Again, Kaiser drop bear, probably my favorite crossbar lock. Same with the Bulldog. I'll put that away later because I don't want to go diving in that case again. And oh, duh! I had this one, the utility blade. This is a crossbar lock. It's also a drop bear, but it's the utility version. And as you can see, as soon as I pull on that crossbar, there you go. Look how smooth that is. And these have no play whatsoever. They're solid. No play. So, and this one I've used a ton. Mostly for my box openings. But there you go. Okay, back to what I was originally talking about. Rough Rider. Rough Rider has been I'm gonna put this back. It's been like my gateway traditional knife drug, because they were so inexpensive and they're absolutely gorgeous and just easy to pick up. And I finally got my hands on one that was kind of hard to find. At least everywhere I've looked, they tend to be either out of stock or just, I thought for a moment they might not be available anymore. I'll have to recheck that. It's a possibility they might not be available. But this one is from their tater skin line. It's a brown burlap. They call them tater skins because the scales on them are made from brown burlap. And I've gotten a few tater skin knives from Rough Rider before. And you've seen a lady leg from them. I think I have a few others. And you notice the size of this box is a lot bigger than a lady's leg. And there's a very good reason for that. Lone Star, you got cold steels with washers. Yes, super smooth. Cold steel, I've had a few cold steels. And they're absolutely great in terms of the smooth movement. I've never had any problem with with cold steel. I actually really like cold steels. Let's see here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, really big box from Rough Rider, and this one's a special one. This one, I think I showed Morgan this one. I forgot what they call this. What model number is this? This is, if you wanted to look it up, it's probably one of the more expensive offerings from Rough Rider. And when I say expensive, it's still probably under $40. RR2339. Let me look this up because I can't remember what they call it. Rough Rider RR2339. Did I say 339? Yeah. Tater Skin Pocket Chopper. Okay, on SMKW's website, they're the ones that I think they own the Rough Rider trademark now. I think that it's going for $22.99. So not bad. Not bad at all. I got this on the auction on Whatnot, so I probably paid a lot less. But this is their pocket chopper. It's probably one of the not the biggest, but it's one of the bigger things I've gotten from Rough Rider. And let me see if you can guess why they call it the pocket chopper. I'll give you a few moments to go ahead and type a guess in. Oh, and I did put some wax on this baby. I did open this obviously before. Let me see if you can guess why they call it the pocket chopper. Morgan knows this one already. It shouldn't be much of a stretch. I'm just cleaning these off real quick so you can get a good look at the blades. Rough Rider lambskin. Yes, don't confuse this with a Rough Rider lambskin. Completely different application and usage. But what we've got here, we've got two blades, and the first one is going to be somewhat of a California clip point, as you can see there that you've seen on other trappers. Now this one does have a very solid mid stop, so a very solid stop halfway on the blade. Satin finish, I believe 440. I don't know if it's 440 A, B, or C steel, but at least 440 stainless steel. And there's that blade. Now, pretty decent size. California clip point. Ooh, it's a strong spring. This one comes out at just under 4 inches, 3 3/4 of an inch blade. Whew. That's a big one. That's a real big one. But the cool part about this one, nobody wants to guess. This is why they call it a pocket chopper. That right there. Actually, you know what? Let me close this blade first. There we go. This is why they call it a pocket chopper. It is a mini. It's a mini axe with I think it's like a 2 1/4 inch axe head blade. I'm just trying to clear up all the wax I put on there previously so you guys get a better look at it. But this is the Rough Rider pocket chopper. I have been looking for this one. Yeah, it's a baby hatchet. I've been looking for this one for a while just because it's just uber unique. Kind of like a lady's leg in terms of uniqueness, in my opinion. And really sharp axe head on this one. But just, I mean, how often do you see something like this? I don't know if anybody else makes something like this. I'm sure there's probably little chopper blades that you can find somewhere. But I have yet to see, or at least for me, this is the first time I've seen something like this in the form of a traditional folder. Where they essentially just replace this. I mean, you could call it a giant trapper and replace the spade blade with an axe head. But I just thought that was super cool. And I've had a hard time finding these. Of course, I say I have a hard time finding these, and looking at SMKW's website, now I'm seeing them in stock. So of course, once I managed to get my hands on one on an auction, I am now seeing them in stock. Thankfully, getting this one on auction, I
I actually didn't pay full price for this one. Again, on SMKW, this one's going for $22.99 and currently available. Um, I'm pretty sure I got this one from Chasing Blades. I don't recall how much I paid for it, but I don't believe I paid that same amount. In fact, I'm pretty sure I paid considerably less on the auction. Um, I'd like to say maybe $15 for this one. So awesome little pickup. I should say little. Awesome pickup. Yeah, 440 razor sharp steel. I just wish I knew what kind. Not that it really matters too much. I think 440C has maybe a little bit more chromium in it. But otherwise, insanely awesome. I want to say insanely awesome knife, but insanely awesome axe, and uh, really strong springs to that, which is nice. I mean, when you got stuff that beefy, you're gonna need some strong springs, and that's pretty thick. Got some decently thick stock in that, especially for that axe. But I thought that was really neat. All right, we're moving right along here. Let me go ahead and put that back. Throw that back in here. Another addition to my collection. I'm actually going to go through my collection later today because I might as well tell you guys now. I am holding an auction tomorrow on Whatnot. I scheduled an auction for 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on Whatnot. Now, my auction is more of a mishmash of a lot of random stuff that I've collected over the years that I'm just trying to clear up, make some room, and make a little money at the same time. I do have a few knives that are going to be going up for auction. I'm actually going to go through my collection and see if there's anything else I might include. So there may be more knives going up, but it's predominantly things like guitar pedals is the big thing. I had a big collection of electric guitar pedals. I've got movies that I'm just trying to clear out that I thought I could make a couple bucks on. And I've been working hard at making paracord bracelets and lanyards, which seem to be a favorite. So I'll be making, or I've made quite a few of those, and I'll be putting those up for auction. I need a drink here. Wet the whistle. I'll be putting those up for auction. In fact, to give you an idea of what those look like, I've been busy. I've been pretty busy making a lot of paracord bracelets and lanyards. Just recently got some pink in. Because somebody had requested pink earlier, so this gives you an idea. And what I've been doing is I've been making bracelets, and I include with the bracelet I call them zipper pulls or lanyards that you can clip on. But I've got various different colors, as you can see. And these in particular that I've made have a compass, an emergency whistle, and also a ferro rod for starting fires. So basically a little emergency paracord thing that I thought was, I thought I'd start making them kind of like a little hobby thing, and people have been interested. So I started making more that if you want, you can purchase. These will be going on my show tomorrow on Whatnot. If you don't know what Whatnot is, it's an auction website or an auction app. I do have a link below. I should have a link in the description to Whatnot. So if you're interested in attending my auction, you can join Whatnot there and just look for my name, EDC Squirrel, and you'll be able to peruse what I'm going to be putting up. Otherwise, it's going to start tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Excuse me again with my coughing. Probably is this no, this isn't the last one I had to show you. Do I have another one? I thought I had another knife. Oh, I do. Where did I put you? I put you somewhere that I cannot remember. I don't know if I showed you guys. Did I show you guys the red bone? That was a red bone I can't remember what I've showed and what I haven't. God, my brain. This is a red bone trapper from Cobra Tech. I know I showed the G10 because I unboxed that earlier. I actually just recently made a video of this one. This one is a similar one. This one's just real bone, dyed red. Again, mirror finish on the blades, but otherwise not too different from the other trappers I've showed you. This one just being from Cobra Tech. Like I said, I've been really impressed with their knives lately, and this was actually the first traditional I got from Cobra Tech, and I was just really impressed with it that I had to get that G10 one. I got the G10 one because I thought that would be a good one to carry around, especially with the VG10 steel. And there was another. Oh yeah, here it is. Like I said, I've been really enjoying Cobra Tech lately. Here's the other Cobra Tech that I don't think I showed you guys. This one is not a traditional knife. This one's a modern one. This one I just finished doing a shoot on earlier also. This one is their EDC Scout. Again, I believe it's a VG10 blade. This is a button lock. We got Grivory scales. The type of, I think it's a type of injection molded plastic. However, it's the same type of scale I know Cold Steel uses on a lot of their stuff. I think even Benchmade uses Grivory as well. I don't recall. I don't have any Benchmade myself. They tend to be just out of my price range for the most part. This one's from Cobra Tech. Like I said, the EDC Scout. It is a button lock, but let's see here. You got a rear flipper. There you go. Comes out really quick and fast. Drop point VG10 steel blade. We can focus there a little better. You got the Cobra Tech emblem etched on the blade there. Like I said, green Grivory scales. A relatively deep carry reversible pocket clip. And the pocket clip is inset. A little spacer there to cover up that that cut for the pocket clip if you want to move it around. A bit of a backliner and standoffs here. Pocket clip is actually pretty decent. It does have an upward swoop at the end here, but it levels off and flattens up a bit, so you don't have that weird, I don't know, upward pointing piece of metal that you get on a lot of similar pocket clips. So I like that. It makes it a little bit more comfortable. Hey, everyday Carrie. Thank you. Love your name as well. Again, EDC Scout button lock, and the button on this one is on the pivot. I have another one that's like this from DEF CON that I did a video on some time ago. And I saw this from Cobra Tech, and I had to pick this one up. Forgot how much this Cobra Tech was. Now I gotta open that side again. Because I didn't leave it open, which I should have done. Where are you? Cobra Tech. I'd like to say these run normally around $69.99. I could be wrong. And they have also a different type that runs $79.99. Hey, Dan Stan, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Okay. I am killing myself trying to find this knife. Where are you? Oh, cool. They actually have their knives in alphabetical order. How about that? ERFCD. Okay, maybe not in perfect alphabetical order because I have not found it. God darn it. Let's try this. Use the search button. There we go. This comes in two different versions. You get either a crossbar lock. I have the button lock. It also comes in black. I have the OD green. And there's the button lock. It's on the pivot. So you can release the blade simply by pressing on the pivot here. Or you can use that to flick the blade out, which is really neat. Now, this is why I thought this was interesting. On the DEF CON and this one, it's a type of liner lock. So in a way, it's kind of like a top liner lock or compression lock that Spyderco uses in terms of like using a liner. The operation is obviously completely different, but it's a liner lock, which I find to be really interesting. And it's a little easier. I tried to show this on the DEF CON, but the DEF CON had black handles, so everything was pretty dark. With the lighter OD green, this might be easier to see. But as you can see here, there's a liner that locks the blade in place, and it's a very solid lock. No movement on this blade at all, which is awesome. And when I press this button to release the blade, you can see what happens to that liner. It kind of, I don't know how they do that. I want to open the knife up, but I don't want to break anything. But you can see it kind of, I want to say it lifts the liner up to unlock the blade. And the DEF CON does the same thing. You can see there's a little bearing there for the detent. Barely see it. There's a little bearing, a little bump right up there, the detent. But I just thought that was really, really neat because I do like liner locks. My only complaint about liner locks in general is when you have to press or put your thumb in the path of a moving blade. So that's like the one thing I don't like about liner locks, but they tend to be pretty solid, pretty secure. But I've really liked the top liner locks like from Vosteed, where it's a liner lock, but you can actuate it with a button. And this one, they have it in a really neat spot, the pivot. And I just thought that's like really cool to see how that works. I really want to know how that works. I really want to see the insides of this thing. Very curious. You're building your new Para 3? I mean, are you custom making one? Because that sounds cool. I'd love to have a custom knife. Even if it's just etching a squirrel on it. But really smooth action on this Cobra Tech. I'm just going to get used to the timing on this button. Which I'm getting there. But that's another one that I opened up last week that you guys didn't get to see. Cobra Tech has been impressing me left and right with a lot of their stuff. And I'm already at like 3 or 4 Cobra Tech knives, I think. I've lost count. But they've been really impressive. They have another one similar to this, but it's more of a stiletto shape. But you do have the button lock on the pivot. Really cool. I'm debating on that one for my next Cobra Tech. I don't know. There's quite a few Cobra Techs that I really want to get my hands on. Oh, you're adding titanium backspacer and lynch clip. Ooh, I don't have any Spydercos. I really want to get a Spyderco. I have to admit something. I don't have any Spydercos, not necessarily because of price. I know a lot of them can be pretty pricey. But I was never fond of the look. I don't know. They just looked really weird to me. However, I have noticed a few Spydercos that I'm starting to like the shape of. They don't have that as much of a weird bird look to them. And I know a lot of people love Spydercos, and they're supposed to be really great knives. I just haven't gotten one yet. But I really want to take a look at a few because they intrigue me. I've just avoided them because I wasn't a fan of the look. But like I said, I am seeing a few more Spydercos that aren't, I don't know how to say it, aren't as exaggerated looking to me, I guess. They look more along the lines of other knives that I can't remember model names. I'll have to look. I can't remember particular model names, but some of those have intrigued me. They don't have as big a thumb hole that some of the other Spydercos do, and I'm really curious about trying one of them out. It's just a matter of which one, which color, and so on and so forth. But hopefully, eventually soon, I'll be getting my first Spyderco. We'll see. I don't doubt that I'll enjoy it. Okay, so the last one that I've actually unboxed, and I have to admit something. This one did come in time, but like it came just a couple of days ago. But considering what the knife was, because I knew exactly what was coming in, I couldn't wait. I didn't want to wait for today's unboxing. I had to open it, and I actually just finished shooting a video on this one. And you'll see the reason why I couldn't wait on this. Now, I am a fan, or I've become a fan of Concept, and I've gotten a couple of their budget knives. One of my favorite being the Concept Dissipator. It's just a really nice. In this case, this one's a front flip only liner lock. It's just really well built, and it's a budget knife. It's one of their budget offerings. I don't believe this was anywhere over $50. I'm pretty sure this was sub $50. I think. I can't remember. My memory sucks. I'll have to look again. Don't quote me on the price. But I think it was around $50. And the finish on the knife was done just really well. Very smooth operation. This one's a liner lock with green micarta, and the beveling on the back of the blade, they've rounded the back off really nicely. It feels so good in the hand. And this knife was my first look into Concept, and it impressed me so much. I actually got a second dissipator, except it's got it was a little more expensive. It has blue. Oh no, it has green aluminum scales to it, but otherwise, same knife. But I've been really wanting one of their more premium offerings, and since it was my birthday, I decided. Not that I haven't been spendy already. Good God, I have issues. Since it was my birthday, I decided to splurge a little bit, and I picked up another Concept. This one, as soon as I figure out where I put it, there it is. This one is called their Mini Cryo. And this is one, it's not my most expensive knife, but it's getting up there. And got a nice little pouch that this comes in. Obviously, I've already opened this one. Just finished shooting a video before I did my live. And this one comes in their Lightning Strike blue, although you'll see it here. A multitude of colors. It comes in their Lightning Strike titanium scales, Mini Cryo. You got a thumb hole, a rear flipper, and Damascus steel blade. And I love this thing. It is so smooth with its deployment. And the Lightning Strike scales look absolutely gorgeous. And an interesting thing is I think I got two-tone scales, which is kind of cool. Like most pictures I see of the Mini Cryo with this type of scale is a really blue color. And I've got like really blue on this side. It's a frame lock, as you can see there. Really blue on this side. This other one is a lot darker. Like almost like a coppery blue lightning. And you can see there's like, I got one scale and another scale. I just think it looks really neat. No backspacers. You got some standoffs. Even the pocket clip is done in the Lightning Strike. See, I like Damascus personally. Well, it depends on the Damascus. I've really liked the Damascus from Titan, and I went with this one because I know how their steel is for Damascus, and I love the patterning on the blade. Concept does something a little different with their Damascus steel blades. Now, most Damascus steel, most offerings, even with a lot of higher price brands, until you get to things like, say, Damasteel, which is something else entirely. A lot of Damascus steel blades tend to be a mix of a high carbon steel and then a stainless steel, all mashed up together to create that pattern. Concept does something a little different. Instead of using a high carbon steel, they use 2 stainless steels for their blades. So corrosion resistance is already at that point going to be a good deal better than your typical Damascus steel blade. Um, I'm trying to remember what steels they use. I'd like to say it was a 9CR and 440 mix to create their Damascus. Now, I can be kind of a steel snob in some ways. I do have my favorite steels. I think I mentioned it before. My favorite steel for most knives, and if I can get it, is Magna Cut. And I've got a few knives in Magna Cut. The first one that comes to mind is the uh, Kershaw Bel Air, which is one of my favorite uh, modern knives, pocket knives, the Kershaw Bel Air. And that's probably that's got to be my favorite steel. And I like things like for budget knives, I tend to gravitate towards things like 14C28N or Nitro V because I just like the properties of those steels. So I can be kind of a steel snob. However, to be quite honest, when it comes down to use, unless you're doing something very specific, like you have very specific needs, or you're using the knife in very specific conditions, most people really aren't going to notice that much of a difference. Your average user probably won't notice a difference in steels. Obviously, some steels will hold their edge better and hold their edge longer. You won't have to sharpen them as often. Some steels will be easier to sharpen. Some steels are tougher. Some steels will be more corrosion resistant. But on average, most people aren't going to notice a difference. Again, not unless you're doing something either very specific that calls for very specific, uh, I guess, properties, or you're working on very specific conditions. Like, say, you need a knife for underwater deep sea diving or something. You're not going to want to take this with you. You're not going to want to take a D2 steel with you. In that case, for underwater, uh, like underwater deep sea diving, you're going to want something like, say, an LC200N, or what's the other one, Maximet or Rex. I can't remember the steels, but those are practically impervious to corrosion and great for deep sea diving. But that's the only real reason you'd need a steel like that. Personally, I love the look of this Damascus steel. I love the patterning, and I really like the fact that they do use 2 different types of stainless on this, because it's just less of a worry in terms of corrosion, since both steels are stainless. And this is absolutely razor sharp. I did test this out on the video that I created earlier, and I just think it's an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous knife and blade. The problem, I do have 2 issues with this knife, though, when I got it. One of them is, well, first of all, like I said, when I use the flipper, it's very smooth, very quick. It's out there like a lightning shot, and very solid lockup, no movement at all on the blade. And you can see it's a pretty solid lockup from the frame lock. And again, a perfect size for me. It comes in at just under 3 inches. I think it was like 2.94 inches on this blade, um, making it ideal to carry in places where blade length might be restricted a bit. Um, but like I said, the biggest problem I have with this one, or the 2 problems I have with this one, we'll start with the frame lock. Now, obviously, the flipper works really well. The thumb holes are a little on the smallish side, at least for my fingers. But because of the frame lock, and in this case with this knife, it has a very strong detent. I mean, this blade is not going to fall out. I could probably shake this until my ended days, and this blade is not going to come out until I use something like the rear flipper. But because the detent is so strong, and I think because of the location of the frame lock, Spidey flicking this thing is not easy. It takes a bit, like, I'm afraid, I think it's because as soon as I get my finger into the hole, I'm actually pressing down on the frame lock a little bit. And in that regard, I think I'm actually increasing the strength of the detent unintentionally. I can still sometimes Spidey flick it, sometimes, but it's not easy. Like right now, I'm having a lot of trouble trying to Spidey flick or even thumb again, because I think when I'm gripping this, you'll notice where my fingers go. Let me focus on here. As soon as I grip onto the handle to try to thumb flip it, I notice my forefinger just automatically hits right here in order to take a hold of the frame. And again, I think I'm unintentionally squeezing down and just making it harder for me to actuate the thumb hole. See, now if it's right when I removed now this is kind of an awkward hold. Once I've removed my finger from there, I can actuate the blade. But my normal hold, as soon as I'm trying to do this, like the first time I tried to do this, is like, holy crap, it won't move. And I noticed my finger was right on the frame lock, and trying to hold on tight to the knife so I don't go flinging it. I realized that I am unintentionally providing a little bit more pressure on that and probably preventing it from opening. And again, even with the spider flick, the reverse flick, once I get my finger into that hole, I'm already pressing down on that frame lock, and trying not to intentionally do that. There, I got it that time. Takes a little bit of thinking. Might be something just to get used to, but kind of a minor issue, to be quite honest. I do like Spidey flicking knives, but the flipper on this one's so easy to use and so quick that it's actually kind of a minor thing. I'd almost say in this regard, they don't really need the thumb hole. Maybe even just stick with the rear flipper, or if anything, I like the front flipper of the accipiter. And I'll be honest, I might get another one of not the mini cryo, but they do have a premium accipiter that's done very similarly to this mini cryo. That could very well be a future pickup, because I really love how the front flipper on these work. It's just very easy, very comfortable. And I wish I didn't have that problem with the being able to reverse flick it, or even using the thumb hole. But I'm fine with just using the rear flipper. The other issue I have with this knife is to me, it's just really pretty. It's like, to me, it's like super pretty. Which is one of those things where, like, I got it this size with the intention of carrying it every once in a while, and now that I've got it in my hand, I kind of don't want to carry it. I kind of want to just baby the heck out of it, keep it safe, keep it from any possible harm or anything like that. And that's more of a me problem than it is of the knife. It's just a really beautiful knife, in my opinion. I just love the lightning strike on the scales. It looks absolutely gorgeous to me. That I don't want anything to happen to it. And because of that, I don't know if I can carry that. Like, if I carry this, it's going to have to be in a pocket with nothing else, no keys, no change, nothing, no pens or anything. It's just going to have a pocket all to its own, and nothing else. If I do carry it, not that, I mean, from what I understand, the finishes hold up really well on these, and because of the lightning strike, even if it did come up with a scratch, it'd be kind of hard pressed to find it To be quite honest, I don't think it would scratch really easily, and if you did, you'd probably have to look real hard to even see it. Hold on, just because of the patterning on that scale. But it's just so pretty. I'm kind of reluctant to carry it because again, I don't want anything to happen to it. It has nothing to do with the price. The price on this, last I checked, both on the website and I think this is also available on Amazon, at least in limited quantities, was 179 for this particular model. I think the others run about the same. Let me look here. They've got one with a similar lightning strike scales, except I think the knife steel is going to be, I'd like to say S35VN steel, and it might be a blackened steel, if I recall correctly. Yeah, okay, so similar or same lightning strike scales, frame lock, everything else is the same except the blade steel on the other one is going to be an S35VN. Same price though, same price for 179. And then they have another one that is completely blacked out. So you got a blacked out blade, blacked out scales, except it looks like kind of like a worn black. All the scales are titanium, worn black for 100. That one's a little less. The all black's $149 with S35VN steel. And normally I would go with S35VN. I do like S35VN steel, but I just really like the look of the Damascus. And I know I can understand love hate thing. Some people love them, some people don't. I I tend to be attracted to them. I really like the weird and unusual and uniqueness on some knives, and that includes Damascus steel. I really would love to get my hands on a Damascus steel blade, but those things are ridiculously expensive. Um, I don't think I'll ever be able to afford one unless I sell like a good at least half of my collection in order to just get that one knife. So probably not something I'm going to see unless I'm just like super lucky or just have some weird windfall or something. Um, but yeah, there we go. So either 149 for an all black S35 VN, or you've got two different types with the Lightning Strike anodized steel, or I'm sorry, anodized titanium scales, either with Damascus or with a blackened S35 VN, both at 179 on Amazon. But they are available on Amazon, which is pretty nice. Otherwise, they're available on Concept. In my case, I got mine at Knife Center. And part of the reason I got it at Knife Center is because I've ordered other knives from them before. And so I already had a discount available to me, which I used for this one. Otherwise, aside from the fact that I can't really Spidey flick it, really happy with the knife. Absolutely gorgeous. And I can't see enough good things on this one. I love it. But that's the latest one. Oh no, it's not the latest one I got. The latest ones I got were the ones I just unboxed today. This one, yeah, this just came in a couple days ago. Absolutely gorgeous knife. But I guess that's going to be it for like the unboxing and show and tell. Now I'm just going to get on to cleaning stuff and making sure everything stays in good condition. And I think I'll start with this one. So how is everybody else doing? Has anybody else acquired anything new? Anything you'd like to share? I'm always keen on hearing about new stuff, maybe things I haven't seen before, manufacturers I haven't seen before. Because you never know. It's like with me and food. You never know when you're going to find the next really cool thing, unless you ask around and see what other people have been getting into. concepts quickly become a favorite. Like Cobra Tech has also quickly become a favorite. I love a lot of the knives that I've been seeing from them. Their traditional knives, absolutely fantastic. That Scout has been great, and I really love that hidden trapper or hidden release trapper that I got. That one is really cool. I don't have too many automatic knives, but that's definitely one of my top automatic knives. And it wasn't super insanely expensive. I think that automatic was like, I'd like to say 129 is what they have them normally on the website. And I loved how it looked like a traditional trapper knife, only that it had a little hidden release to automatically flick the blade out. That was pretty cool. I don't believe I did. I thought I might have, but I didn't really see any oil. We'll add a little oil to this again on the pivot just to make sure it stays nice and clean in there. Let that soak in a little bit. Lone Star Cold Steel Recon 1XL has been brought back. Also the Colossus and the Black Sable. I haven't looked. The last time I got a Cold Steel was some time ago. I haven't gotten a lot of Cold Steel lately. I've got two. I've gotten Cold Steel blades before, and I either gave them to friends and or family or sold them. Not because I disliked them. I think at the time I either just needed the money or actually it's probably just because I needed the money. But I did, excuse me, I did acquire two Cold Steel blades relatively recently within the last few months. Excuse me. And one was the AD 15 with the Scorpion lock, and the other one was a folding kukri that I got. That's just freaking massive, and also one of the sharpest knives I have, which is kind of crazy. That folding kukri is kind of spooky. I love it, and at the same time, I tend to be kind of hesitant to pull it out because of how sharp that sucker is. Because I remember oiling the pivot on that one, and then I was putting a light film on the blade, and thankfully I didn't cut myself, but I ran the cloth over the edge without realizing it, and it just sliced. It just sliced straight through with like very little to no effort. That thing is crazy sharp. Where is that thing? Because now I gotta figure out where I put it. I probably boxed it up somewhere, and it's currently sitting in the rest of. Yeah, it's probably sitting deep in my collection right now. It's gonna take some effort to dig out, I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull that out anytime soon. Where's my other Cold Steel one? I keep the other Cold Steel that I have. I used to keep it by my bed, but I moved it. I've got to reorganize my knives. I have a tendency to like move knives around, and then I forget where I put them. You're back and forth cooking. The Raja, that's the one. Yeah, the folding kukri. That's the one that I have. That's the Raja. You got it. Where the hell did I put it? Like I said, I have a tendency to move knives around, and then I forget where I put them. And I know I was actually fiddling with that earlier. Because I regularly maintain, do what I have like a maintenance thing that I do with my knives. And so I'll routinely go over and re-go over knives that have been sitting for a while, and I make sure that they're either well oiled or waxed before putting them back in the collection. And I know I recently did that one. I just can't remember where I put it. Normally I keep it next to my bed, just because that thing is crazy sharp. And it's actually one of my favorite knives because it has such an interesting lock to it. Good grief, I don't know what I did with it. Oh, my daughter didn't take it with her. I know I gave her a bunch of knives. I don't think I offered that one to her. In fact, I don't think I even showed it to her. But she was visiting, and I actually gave her a good deal of knives to take back with her. I even gave her boyfriend one of my katana. I just thought it would be a really neat gift that they could have. But now I'm wondering, where the hell did I put that thing? I have way too many boxes. I've got to reorganize my collection, because none of these boxes have that knife in there. I don't know where I put it. It's got to be somewhere. All right. Well, I might have to find it at a later time. I know I own one. I just don't know where I put the sucker. Oh well. I know it'll turn up. All right. How's this knife doing? Trying to wipe the excess oil off of it. There we go. Now, this doesn't really need any oil to like make it any smoother. This is just for protection the pivot area. I always put pivot oil on every folder that I get, even the traditionals, because if anything's gonna accumulate anywhere, a lot of times it'll accumulate at the pivot. And since I'm not in the habit of taking my knives apart all the time, I like to protect that area by putting oil in there to prevent corrosion at that spot. And it also just helps keep it moving nice and fluid. Now this one has, I believe, ceramic ball bearings in there, so it was smooth before. So the oil is just for protection. And I don't believe it really needs any other cleaning. Like I said, this one's just out of the box. And then what I'll probably do, it's stainless. What I'll probably do next is apply just a thin coat of wax to the blade. I'll do that now. Morgan, what you cooking? What you making for dinner? I've got leftover spaghetti. That's what I'm doing anyway. I made spaghetti as a send-off to my daughter and her boyfriend when they visited. Didn't want them leaving on an empty stomach. Now, I'm just applying a little bit. I like to use, I've got Wicked Wax here. I've got some other stuff from other makers like Blade Butter. It's essentially a beeswax. And what I like about this stuff is wax is probably one of the best things you can use to prevent corrosion. It also stays where it's at or where you apply it, and it doesn't go migrating to places that you don't. And I like to apply a thin film to the blades. Stainless or not, doesn't matter to me. Just as a protectant. Just gotta be careful of that edge. Nice thin film. You can't on the Damascus. You can't even really tell it's there. And then there we go. And just trying to be careful not to slice my finger, which wouldn't be the first time while doing this. There we go. So that's how I prepare my knives for my collection. Is I'll oil the pivots, apply a little bit of wax to the blade or oil, either or. I use wax most of the time. In my opinion, it's one of the better things to use to prevent corrosion on a blade. Oil works fine too. I just prefer applying the wax. So it takes a little bit more time than oil, but it also doesn't get everywhere. And then that's pretty much it. Also, one nice thing about using wax is sometimes some people, I included, tend to have pretty acidic sweat or oils, and wax will actually neutralize fingerprints where a lot of times oil won't. And normal process when I'm applying oil to a blade is I make sure I wipe off all my fingerprints, and then I'll apply a thin film of oil. With wax, you don't need to worry about that so much, as it'll neutralize those fingerprints, and I'll just apply a very thin coat of wax to the blade, and I'll end up wiping those fingerprints away in the process, and then that's that. That'll go back in the case along with its cloth. There we go. Now, a lot of these knives I've already prepared. This one was very new, so I didn't do anything to that one till now. The G10 I will probably do, as well as the lady's leg. As soon as I figure out what the hell I did with my G10 blade. This it? That's it. Nice. So what else has anybody acquired? Anything neat? Anything new? Traditional, modern, otherwise? I've also got to do, I'm going to do this right now while I'm at it. I'm going to register this blade on the website. Anytime you get a Cobra Tech, make sure you register it right away. And I just have to enter the code. And I don't remember when I bought this thing. I know it was like just a couple weeks ago. Where'd it go? Oh, I ordered this August 1st. Actually came in time, or almost in time for my birthday. And registration number. And knife is registered. Now I don't have to worry about that. Now, normally with a traditional knife, I'll pretty much just soak the heck out of this knife, but I kind of don't want to bother with it or with soaking it. So I'm going to do something different. Where is my, there it is. I've got some camellia oil. I like using oils and waxes that are food safe. Never know when I'm going to use it for cutting food or using it to eat with. So in this case, I'm using Japanese, what do they call this? Camellia oil? The food safe oil. A lot of times I'll use the same oil for my kitchen knives because I got some high carbon kitchen knives. And then I picked up a bunch of these really tiny swabs. I found out trying to use those regular cotton swabs were being a pain in the butt because they're so big in comparison to like the wells on these knives. It's hard to get those cotton swabs in anywhere. And start with applying a few drops here and there. Actually, hold on a second. I want to make this a little easier to wipe off in case I spill some oil. I don't want to get it on my nice mat. So we're going to move these out of the way and we're just going to use bare table. It'll be easier for me to clean. Excuse me, squirrel. There we go. So, what was I going to do? I'll apply some oil to the pivot area. And the thing with a lot of knives, another reason why I like to use oil in the pivots, and especially with traditional knives, kind of dousing them in oil, is even though a lot of them tend to look really clean, sometimes the machining still leaves a lot of debris in the well. Case knives tend to be cleaner than most. Rough riders, I've noticed some, it depends, I guess. Some rough riders I've noticed can get pretty dirty in there. I haven't really inspected Cobra Tech a whole lot. I do notice a bit of debris, and what I'm talking about is there's a lot of like black stuff in there, probably from machining, and that's kind of what I want to get rid of. So we'll open these blades up a bit, and then what I'll do is what a lot of people I know will do is they'll completely flood. Sometimes they'll even soak a knife in oil. I don't have a lot of oil. A lot of cases, what they'll do is they'll use mineral oil since that's really cheap, also food safe. But a lot of times they'll absolutely soak a knife in oil in order to get all those extra bits of debris out. Sometimes I'll do the same. I just happen to be out of mineral oil, so all I've got left is my camellia oil, and it's not super expensive, but it's more expensive than mineral oil, so I don't want it to go complete waste. Then what I'll do, I'll use one of these new micro swabs, and then I'll run this through, see if I can pick up and swab out any of that debris in there. I'll swab out as much as I can. Another benefit to running oil through or soaking these things is you'll get all that oil into all the moving bits of the knife. So then they'll be nicely lubricated. They'll help cut down on wear, from metal pieces rubbing up against each other, stuff like that. And that just helps with keeping your knife working nice and smoothly for a lot longer. I'm already dripping a lot of oil out of this. And I notice I'm getting quite a lot of stuff out of there. A lot more stuff than I realized. I said some people will just soak the knife in there. I've done that before. I just have to be out of mineral oil. Okay, I think I got most everything out of there. Let me go and use another one. You can see the tip of this one's all dark now. Yeah, a little bit. I think I got most everything. Then I'll wipe off the excess oil and probably have it sit in a rag for a little while. Make sure all that oil kind of wicks away, all the excess wicks away. And I just hope it doesn't close on me. And I got to do that red bone as well now that I think about it. Oh, see something in there. This is actually not too bad. I've seen a hell of a lot worse. Usually the Rough Riders can be a little dirty. This one has some debris in there, but it's not terrible. It's like a stubborn piece that I'm trying to get out that I can see. I hear the swap catching on it. I don't know what that is. Whatever it is, it's flexible enough that I don't think it's metal. I don't know what that is. It doesn't want to come out though. For that, I've got tweezers. There is something caught in there. I don't know if these tweezers are going to be thin enough. Could be cloth. I think it is. Whatever it is, I got it. I don't know what that is. Doesn't appear to be metal. I think it's cloth. Okay, whatever it is, I got it out. Success. And it is really clean in there now. Okay, we'll just wipe off the excess. This will probably have this sit on a cloth, and then what I'll do is eventually I'll wax the blade. Oop! Oh, I left a little bit in there still. There we go. Gotcha. And this one I'll probably carry quite a bit. I really like the look of this G10 scale. Actually quite impressed with it. I'll let this sit for a little while, let that oil wick away on a cloth. We'll go back and do some waxing with it. In fact, now I'm out of cloth. Let me use this. I've got so many Civivi microfiber cloths. Where's that red bone? That's not it. Although I think I got to oil that one too. There we are. I've already registered this one. I might have applied oil. I didn't do a cleaning on this one though. I do notice that when I apply oil to the pivot, it does smooth out the movement quite a bit on traditionals. Although these Cobra Techs have been pretty smooth already. Again, I'm talking mainly about Rough Rider. Not that I have problems with Rough Riders, but they are less expensive, and I think while the QC on Rough Riders has been pretty good, um, those are the only ones where I've experienced. I've had a couple Rough Riders that have had like minor issues, either like the snap wasn't very strong, or I had one with like a not so much. It's not a pin crack, but like a cracked handle or scale. But it's been far few issues. than you'd expect from knives that are really inexpensive to begin with. I can see a little bit of gunk in here for machining. So we're going to run some oil in the wells. Then I'm going to brush those out. Otherwise, it doesn't look too bad. A little bit of gunk. That was really easy to remove. A nice little scrub down with some oil. This well's looking a lot better. Okay. Morgan, he didn't tell me what you're cooking. Otherwise, how's everybody's weekend so far? I cannot complain, other than the fact that I am now quite obviously broke. Combination of acquiring knives for the collection and family being over. Another reason why I'm holding the auction. Make a little extra cash. And again, if you're not on Whatnot, I do have a link below. If you're interested in attending the auction, uh, and hell, it'd be pretty cool. Just if you want to jump in and chat, these are live auctions, so it's kind of like a live stream. So if you just want to visit and chat, don't have to buy anything. No requirement to buy anything. You want to come by, chat it up while I'm doing my show? That would be awesome. Just gives me another venue to talk about one of my favorite hobbies, collecting pocket knives. Or anything else for that matter. Like I said, it's going to be an auction with kind of a bunch of different things. I do intend to have I do have a few knives that are going to go up for sale, a few Rough Riders. And I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be looking at my collection again because I might be selling more, or I might be adding more to the auction uh, in terms of knives. The other things that I have for sale, like I said, electric guitar pedals, which are effects pedals that change the sound of your guitar through when it's going through your amp. I even have, oddly enough, I have a new pair of women's slip-ons or slippers that are actually really expensive normally. They're normally like 80, $90, but I think I'm going to sell them. And these are brand new, like size 6.5, I think. I'm going to sell them for like maybe $40 if I can get them. If anybody wants them for 40. Normally like $80 if we were to get them online. And I have like women's baseball cleats. Again, brand spanking new in the box. I'm not going to do anything with, obviously. And those normally are close. If I remember correctly, I think those are close to like $100. But I'm going to be auctioning those off really cheap if anybody's interested. Again, I have a bunch of paracord lanyards and bracelets that I've made that I'm selling in sets. It's a bracelet with a matching lanyard. I call them zipper pulls. I like to use them on zippers to make zippers easier to grasp onto. But I'm selling bracelets with matching zipper pulls. I started making a few zipper pulls just on their own in case nobody wanted bracelets. And I'll be putting those up for pretty inexpensive tomorrow. I also have a bunch of old DVD movies that I no longer need and I need to clear up space for. So I'll be selling those on the super cheap if anybody's interested. I don't know all the titles offhand that I have in there, uh, but a bunch of random titles, some comedies, some other stuff. Um, those I plan on selling super cheap if you want to expand your DVD collection. uh, I don't really have much in the way of, like, most of my stuff is I've been streaming in terms of movies and TV shows now. And I don't even really have a way to play a lot of my DVDs. The only way I have to play my DVDs is I have a PS5, and I don't really watch if I have my PS5 on because I'm playing a video game. I don't really turn it on to watch a movie. So I'm getting rid of a lot of that. You're shoveling face food in your face. What are you eating? What did you cook? Oh wait, I see it now. Red beans and rice and turkey tacos. Sounds good. I'm down for tacos, any type of tacos, really. I still have yet to get or try some beans and rice. I want to. You know me. I like trying new stuff. Okay, so that well has been cleaned, and then we'll get back to waxing the blades once this has time to wick away a lot of the oil. A lot of the oil will probably wick through the bottom of this knife because the bottom of this knife is made out of springs, or it has spaces because there's springs in there, and a lot of that oil is probably going to leak through, which is why I just have them sitting on a cloth. um, let's do the lady leg. This ridiculous looking thing. I love this thing. It's just goofy looking. Can't help it. I like weird shit. All right, this one adds oil to the well or to the pivot. Get this looking all nice and pretty. I gotta fix my window. There we go. And then same thing with the other two knives. Run some oil down the well. There we go. Soak that well. And yeah, it's actually not too bad in there. Oh yeah, and you're the one that got that hawk bill from me, Morgan, from the last auction. How are you liking it? You got it. You should have it by now. Or is that just sitting pretty in your collection? Actually, this Rough Ride is actually really clean. A lot cleaner than I expected. I think the Corvatex had more debris in it. Usually the other way around. Corvatex tend to be a bit dirty sometimes. This one didn't have much. Still good to get some oil in there. It's sitting pretty because it's pretty. I'm glad you like it. I don't know how interested you're going to be in some of the other ones that I'm going to be offering up. There's going to be a tater skin lady leg that I've had that nobody's bought yet. That'll be going. Or hopefully it will be going. I've got that. What else did I have that's going up tomorrow? Yeah, the tater skin lady leg. I have that wasp that wasp bowed trapper that's going to be going. Only reason why I'm selling that one is because I already have one in my collection, and I don't really need. I like it. I will double up on knives intentionally, uh, and it's not that I dislike the knife, but I don't really need two of the same knife if I'm not. 'Cause I'm not really using the sow belly, or I mean, sorry, the bow trapper all that often. It more it pretty much sits pretty in my collection for the most part, so I don't really need two of them to sit pretty in my collection. So I'll be selling that. The only problem with that bow trapper is when I got the bow trapper, they they put it in a wasp box, which is the same, which is the correct series, but they put it in the wrong pattern box. So it's the box is for a different type of knife, even though they're both wasps. So it doesn't fit in the box perfectly. I'm still gonna give the box away with it. But that's the only big problem with that knife. Otherwise, the knife is in perfectly new condition. Yes, the spreadsheet has a use. I've got all my knives in a spreadsheet. I've got to add some of these knives into them that I just got. But the spreadsheet has a use, and it has been working beautifully. I think the worst thing that's happened was because my memory sucks. I bought like the same knife, I think a total of 4 times. So I had one knife and like 3 extras. I think that was the worst case. And I ended up selling 2, and I actually gave one to Ostank as a gift. He's the one that created the spreadsheet for me. I gave him one of those as a thank you for the spreadsheet. It's funny because he got himself a new knife. Actually, we've been talking back and forth the last couple of days, and he's been agonizing over what knife to get. Uh, and he's not like me where he has 20 billion knives. So his thought process, he was being a little bit more particular about what he was getting, and he ended up getting 2 knives. One was a Demco, or I think Cold Steel makes those uh, with a it's with a shark lock, which is a I wish I had one to show you. Really cool type of locking mechanism. And then he also picked up a Kaiser Mini Bulldog, mainly because of one of the videos that I had of the regular size Bulldog, and he was set on both those, and he finally got both of them. He really liked the mini. He really likes the Mini Bulldog, which is a problem because now that I saw it, I now want a mini one. I really now want a mini one. It's gonna be a while because the mini one's kind of pricey. It's close to the same, not exactly, but close to the same cost of the concept that I showed you with the Lightning Strike Titanium. So it's getting there. I think I got all the oil out actually on this one. I didn't put as much oil down in the well of this one. It was actually pretty surprisingly clean. We're gonna wax this one up right away. I am out of cut up rags. I think. Nope. I have more. There we go. We'll use this. I'll wax this blade. I don't need KPL right now. And okay, this should be fine. So now I'm just killing time chatting with you guys. See if there's anything you want to talk about. Anything in my collection you're curious about? Anything that I just unboxed you're curious about? Feel free and ask. Too much wax. There we go. I'll just put some wax on this blade before I put it back in the box and add it to my collection. I forgot how many lady legs I have. I'm gonna have to look at the spreadsheet because I'm pretty sure I added this one already to it. I'm not gonna say I have the biggest collection of lady legs. I'm sure somebody out there has every lady leg made available known to man. But I'm up there, I think. Like I said, they're just a weird, interesting knife, and easy to collect because they're extremely inexpensive. I mean, I don't know too many lady legs, if any, that were like above $10. They've all been much less than $10. making them exceptionally easy to collect and easy to collect and get. The hardest part about collecting these is actually finding them, because I've been to various websites, and some will carry a few types, another will carry different types, and um, even the auctions, it's kind of rare to see them. And so there could be many different types of lady legs that I'm not aware of out there, simply because either I just haven't found the store that carries them. And I've even looked on Rough Rider's website, and some of the knives I have, some of the lady legs I have, don't even appear on the Rough Rider website. But yeah, so it's either I'm lucky enough to bump into a store that's got different ones, or I just happen upon one on an auction and that I haven't seen before, and that's pretty much it. So they're cheap, super cheap to get, just sometimes hard to find. And that one's done. And I made an accident of getting lady legs. The one that I'm selling tomorrow. I actually bought three of them, and I've actually sold one. I have one for my collection, sold one, and I got that one left that I'm going to be selling tomorrow. So that one's done. I've got to take care of the tater skin one. The one I got from Titan is already super well oiled, so there's no reason for me to do anything with that one. Lady leg, that one, and I have one more. Oh wait, tater skin. Must have tater skin. Yes, I am having fun cleaning. Hey, G Ball, how you doing? I just finished unboxing a bunch of stuff. I was showing stuff that I acquired a couple weeks ago because I didn't do a live unboxing last week. Now I'm just oiling and cleaning the knives that I got recently, so that way I can then add them to my collection. And especially with these traditional knives, I like to make sure that the well is nice and clean, and I'll pour oil down each well. Now this one actually is all even shiny in there. This one looks really clean in there. I'll still apply some oil to it, but in fact, I think I might have actually oiled the pivot on this already, but I don't think I cleaned the well. This one is a mini chopper. Love this thing. It's just so cool. I like unique blades. One of the things that I'll immediately latch onto when I'm running around on auctions is I see something really unique, and then it just catches my eye, like the lady leg knives, for example, or the mini chopper. There's something about these. In fact, I'm going to reverse these because that chopper is like a weird shape. So let's fully extend that. Move this over. Okay, there's a little bit of debris there, but it's not bad. Trying to look in there. This one is a mini chopper from Rough Rider. I still have the website open on this. I don't know. I think I do. Or I'm sorry, Rough Rider Tater Skin Pocket Chopper. Uh, Model number, if you go looking, is I know they have it. We just looked earlier today on the smkw.com website, Smoky Mountain Knife Works. The number on this one is called the RR2339. And on Smoky Mountain, I think it goes for just under $23. So not a terribly expensive knife. And I got this one on auction, and I don't think I even paid the $23 on the auction. I'd like to say I got it for like maybe 15. don't recall. I just know I got a good deal on it. And I'm just trying to clean any gunk that might be in the well. Looks all nice and clean and shiny, but you never know. You might have eaten too much. No, that's not a bad price for this knife, especially since it's a unique knife. It's got essentially a mini hatchet. Like, I've been looking for this knife for a while, and at the time, I didn't see it available on Smoky Mountain. And they might have been out of it. I don't know, but I didn't see it available. And so it was, like I said, I was looking for this for some time, and it finally came up on auction. One of the sellers that on Whatnot that I frequent got one in, and he knew I was looking for it. And I got a good deal from him on this. And of course, now that I got it, it's now available again. But that's fine because I actually got a better deal, I think, than what Smoky Mountain is offering. Not that that's a bad price either. I mean, for this knife, $23. That's a steal. Okay, what is this? There is. Oh, you know what? I just realized I'm like thinking I'm cleaning here. I just realized these little Q-tips aren't deep enough to get what I just saw. There is some gunk in here. I'm gonna actually have to wash this out by pouring a little bit more oil and hope I can drain it away. But there is a bit of gunk that I ended up kind of washing out of the well. I'm trying to get it to a point where I can get it out with a swab. The swab, I just realized, is not long enough to get into this well. The well of this thing is so deep, since it's such a big knife, or at least as far as traditional knives are concerned. You're you're ordering this now? I don't know if they have this on Amazon. You know what? I didn't look. I don't believe they had this on Amazon because otherwise that would have been one of the other places I would have looked for it. Like I said, I know they had it on Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Let me check Amazon just in case. I haven't looked, unless somebody already looked on Amazon. Rough Rider. Oops. Tater skin. I'll leave it at that. Because then a bunch of tater skin stuff should show up. And oh, cute tater tot. Never seen one of those. I do not believe this is available on Amazon. I sure as hell am not finding it. Tater skin pocket. Let's be a little bit more specific. Chopper. Nope. I am not seeing it on Amazon. Otherwise, I'd tell you to get it on Amazon and use my affiliate link. I do not have an affiliate link on Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Okay, so I think I got everything out. Again, and once you get yours, because Rough Riders, and I don't want to make it sound bad, but a lot of traditional knives, the cases tend to be pretty clean. Cobra Tex wasn't too bad. There was some debris in the Cobra Tex that I just cleaned, but it wasn't bad. But Rough Riders tend to be the dirtiest. I would highly suggest getting your hands on some like mineral oil. And like what I'm doing now is I'm actually out of mineral oil, which kind of sucks because mineral oil is the cheapest option. But I'm using camellia oil to essentially flood the well, which is this is the well where the blades sit, and I'll essentially flood the well to wash whatever machining debris is still left inside there. And I'll try to get it out of there. And Rough Riders tend to be some of the dirtier ones when it comes to having debris in the well. And they tend to take a little bit more work. In fact, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll, like, I'm taking my time to trying to swab the particulate out, which is obviously a little bit more work intensive to do. And I'm beginning to think I don't have the proper tools to completely swab this one out since it's so big. But what a lot of them will do is they'll take a little container, like a little plastic, like Tupperware or something, a little throwaway, and they'll fill it with mineral oil, and they'll just drop this sucker in there and let it soak. And then they'll take cotton swabs like what I'm doing, and then any debris that isn't just floating away in the oil, they'll like brush off using the cotton swab. And the oil will help keep it clean and also will lubricate the pivot to help protect the pivot from any corrosion as well as the blades. And they'll just wipe off the excess, let it drain, wipe off the excess, and then you're good to go. But it's definitely highly recommended on every. I do that for every traditional knife, even the cases, which tend to be pretty clean. I'll still do that to the case knives that I get, where I'll oil the pivots. And actually, there is one that I'll have to do, the mini trapper, because that's the newest one that I got. And I didn't do anything with it. And then what I'll do is I like to apply wax to the blades. I've already oiled that well pretty good. And I've wiped off any excess on the blades themselves. So now I'll just go about and just put a light coating of wax. Trying to be careful not to slice open a finger. It wouldn't be the first time I did that while doing this. Rough Riders tend to be pretty good with how well the blades get finished. They're generally pretty damn sharp out of the box. Might not be like razor hair cutting sharp, but pretty darn close. I remember I had another knife from QSP. I think it was the QSP Dolphin. Really beautiful knife. Love that knife. And I wasn't paying attention. I was doing this, where I was applying wax to the blade, just like as I'm doing now. And right where I'm applying wax to the edge, I ran my finger like this, except it was more towards the edge down here like this. I'm being really careful now. But I wasn't thinking about it. I ran my finger and went, whoop, and I felt the blade cut through 2 layers of this cloth and into my finger. So you want to be very conscious of what you're doing. Don't be like I was and get distracted. The blade on that knife was so sharp that I didn't really. The funny thing is, I didn't really feel pain when it cut into my finger. The only thing I felt was the fact that there was steel running across my fingertip. That's how sharp that thing was. The added benefit to it being so sharp, though, was after I quickly cleaned the wound and immediately threw a bandage on, it healed super fast. The blade was that sharp that the cut just healed super quick. Which is another reason why I like to keep my blades really sharp. Is if you have a nice, clean cut, not nice, but if you have a very sharp blade and you end up cutting yourself and it's a very clean cut, there's no tearing of the flesh. It's just a clean slice. Those will heal a hell of a lot faster than if you cut yourself with a dull blade or serrated edge, because there's no tearing. the flesh closes up really quickly, really easily, and it heals just that much faster. Yeah, they heal so much faster. And I was lucky that that knife. I was unlucky that I wasn't paying attention, but I was also lucky that that knife was that sharp that it just. I mean, literally within the day, like what the day after, you could barely tell there was a cut there. And it wasn't exactly. I mean, it was a small cut, but when you think about it, the thing probably. I'll admit, I probably would have needed a stitch otherwise, but I can't even tell where I was cut now. Like, not even a scar. Maybe unless I look really carefully. But if I had taken it to the hospital, I mean, it wasn't that much of a worry to me. But if I had taken it, they probably would put a stitch or two on it, no doubt. If anything, just to be able to charge me. You sent me a link. Oh, hold on. You sent me a link in Discord. Give me a moment. Oh, you won a brownie. Ooh, a Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation RMEF Browning Model 0448R knife. You won that? Oh, wow. That's an interesting looking blade. Wait, where's the cutting edge to that? I'm assuming, okay, I think I know where the cutting edge is. It's almost like a backward kukri. Huh. Wait, hold on. You won that for $11? Is that what you just said? Was you got that on auction? If that's the case, nice. Nice grab on that. And after this, I still got to go through because I want to go through my Rough Rider collection, and I've realized that I've collected quite a lot of Rough Rider, and now my tastes in traditional knives are not so much changing, but I guess you can say they're getting a little bit more particular, and I'm starting to stick to very specific patterns like trappers. I like trappers, which are the two blade like these two that you see here, these two trappers, docks, and lady legs, which is just more of a weird obsession. Quickly become my pattern of choice. I still do like the hawk bills, but I guess my tastes are becoming more towards the more practical. Like trappers have a very specific. I mean, they have two very useful all around utility type blades to them. You know, the California clip point and the spade blade, very useful for you know most any type of cutting job that you'll need. Um, same with the same with the hawk bills. The hawk bills are especially great when you're cutting open packages. Um, cutting boxes and opening packages. They're exceptionally good for that. Um, but I've been collecting some, and the lady legs. Those are more of just a goofy obsession. I just think they're funny looking, which is why I collect those. But the funny thing is, the blade style on the lady legs are still useful. They're clip point blades, useful for general purpose. Um, but the knives that I'm talking about that I might be getting rid of are more of like they were interesting to me because they were so different. But I might start selling off some of my cotton samplers because I don't really have like a use for them per se. they're interesting. I do like them, but when it comes to like if I need a knife to use, oh, Backpack Boys, that's where you got it from. Nice, Backpack Boys is a good seller and whatnot. But as far as usage is concerned, the cotton samplers are they're just they're such an interesting type of blade, but when I need something to cut something with, they're probably the last blade I'll go reaching for. Because they have such a wide spoon-like blade to them. I still think they're neat, but I've got a lot of them, and I'm thinking maybe just keeping my most favorites and quite possibly selling the rest off. So I might be digging around my collection and collecting some of those cotton samplers to sell on auction tomorrow. That one's done. Actually, that can just go right in the box. So if you're looking for some cotton samplers, I very well might have a few in tomorrow's auction. Again, it's just a matter of if I go to use a knife, I'm gonna probably grab something like either this G10 trapper, one of the doctor's knives, or one of my moderns, as opposed to reaching for like a cotton sampler. The cotton sampler, like I said, I'm still gonna keep probably my favorite cotton samplers. More for because they have such an interesting blade, just for that reason. Um, but other than that, I don't really have another use for them, and I think I have way too many of those. So yeah, I'll be adding some of those off. This is the one. This one I didn't show you. I showed the bigger brother to this one. This is a case green apple mini trapper. I got this one because it's smaller, and it's just a smaller brother to the green apple. I did get. Oh, I did go over this knife. It's oiled and waxed. I just noticed. Okay, so I don't need to go over this one. I thought I didn't. Um, but yeah, the other one I showed you was the big brother to this. It was a normal size trapper. This is the mini version, and the only difference, obviously, is it's just a smaller version of a trapper. I think it's about 3-inch blade, if maybe a little less. But this is the type of knife I was saying that I this pattern I really really like. Trappers with the two blades. Um, I just find to be super handy. Um, and probably less chance of me cutting the heck out of myself if I were to use it. There's a little debris there that I didn't brush off. Clean that off. I still see quite a bit of oil though. That's good. I don't really need to do much of that. Already nice and clean. I think the wells were fine. I would have checked the wells before doing anything else. Yeah, wells are nice and clean on this one. I'll just go right back in the box. I'm about to have it. The thing is, the green apples, while there's still a few other patterns, like there's a muskrat, which is two blades on either side. There's a Barlow, which is kind of like a chubby version, like a short, chubby version of a trapper. Um, that has like one. It has like one steel bolster on one side, and then the rest is just the bone. And I think there might be a couple other patterns, but the ones I was really only interested in were the trappers. This one, the trappers, the mini trappers, and the Sodbuster Junior. Those are the only patterns that I was really interested in. Maybe I'd be interested in a muskrat, but I'm not like these are like kind of like chomping at the bit to grab one. If I can come across one for a good price, or I just happen to have a little extra cash, which is not going to happen anytime soon because I have a really long list of other knives I want to grab. I might get one in the future, maybe eventually, and that's a big maybe. But I'm not chomping at the bit for it. As far as I'm concerned, I've gotten every green apple that I really, really want. And this is the sod buster. I'll pull it out just to show you. This one I know I've already gone over, so there's no need for me to clean or oil. But this is the Sodbuster Junior, like the blue one my girlfriend gave me. This one's just done in green apple. And like I said, I know I've gone over this already. There's some wax on that shield. Focus. There we go. You can see the wax on the blade, which I'll wipe a little bit off. But this is a Sodbuster Junior. These juniors, these Sodbusters are knives that if I'm going to carry a traditional, it's either going to be one of these Sodbusters or one of the Trappers. They're the most utilitarian knives, in my opinion. Just really simple, basic, and in the case of the Sodbuster, in the case of Case, absolutely gorgeous knives. I really like the look of the green apple. And that blue one is going to cause me trouble because the blue one that my girlfriend gave me, I wasn't like, when I first saw him, I was like, oh, that looks pretty nice. That's not bad. I really like the green apples, though, and got the green apples. But now that my girlfriend's got the blue one, the blue Mediterranean, I did not realize, because a lot of, on video, they might look good, but they never look, I mean, once you get them and can see them in your hand, the videos and pictures just don't do them justice. They look so much better in, I guess you could say, in the flesh. Like this one, I wasn't too intrigued at first. Like even this red one, I wasn't too sure about until I got them in and then got a good look at the scales of this knife and then the feel, that I was just really like, wow, that is pretty. And like I said, the video isn't really doing this justice. I mean, it does a good job of showing like there's a lot of milk in there along the back and around the well. But when you're looking at this with your own eyes, it just looks so much better. I mean, the bone has an almost translucent look to it. There's some junk there that I missed somehow. There you go. It has an almost translucent look to it where that dye didn't really catch. That, yeah, this one could be trouble because I'm, now that I have this Mediterranean blue, I kind of want to see what the others look like. And now I'm gonna want more of these, which is just, it's gonna be trouble for my wallet. Uh, this one, like I said, I carry with me, so it goes into this slip case, and I love these things. I've got a few more that I haven't even taken out. These slip cases are great because then I can slip this knife into my pocket. I can have my keys. I can have some change in there, and this keeps them from all banging into each other and wreaking havoc. Even though I'll probably end up using this blade quite a bit, it'll just keep it nicer longer without all that stuff banging into it in my pocket, which is why I love these slips. I have a slip for this. I have different slips for like the case slip. I have a more generic slip that I use to carry my Rough Rider. Here's another one that I carry with me a lot. This is a doctor's knife. This is a doctor's knife pattern. This is from Rough Rider. This one I carry with me a lot. This one's interesting because it's only a single blade. Usually a doctor's knife will have sometimes two blades, but more often it'll be a single blade and then like a metal spatula that's not sharp. And I like carrying these around because they're just so They're easy to carry. They're small. They're kind of like a traditional gentleman's knife, but they're small, easy to carry. This one again, I carry in this type of slip pouch, and I'll toss that in a pocket when I go out. Um, oh, good God, I didn't see that sitting there. This is something I got from another seller, Danasan. Danasan. I forgot the numbers she has after her name. I gotta show this off though before I forget. I won. I won this from her from one of her shows, and she gave me a piece of poo. A piece of blue poo. It's blue poop with a smiley and rosy cheeks. I thought that was hilarious. Love it. It sits with the rest of my knives near my desk. Little blue poop. Okay, what was? Oh, there was one more knife I wanted to clean. That's not it. That box is empty. Another Cobra Tech. Oh my God, I went through a lot of these freaking swabs already. That did not take long. This is the Scout. It occurred to me that I didn't do anything with the Scout. I think I might have applied some oil to it. Might have. That's a maybe. I'm beginning to think. I thought I did, but I didn't clean off some of that debris that's in there. I can see a little bit of debris, not a whole lot. It was just some on the back. That's all gone already. So already cleaned. Did not take much of anything. I didn't wax the blade on this one. Pretty sure I did apply oil. I can always apply another drop. They send tiny ducks. Yeah, I've seen those. Janison likes to put poop. This is a cute little thing that some of the sellers do. I don't have anything other than stickers I've printed out on my own one of these days. I'm not the thing is with the auctions, I never really intended to do a lot of auctions. In fact, I only intended to do one because I gotten into a issue with a scam. And so just to make sure I didn't run into any financial trouble, I ran an auction, sold some stuff just in case like the investigation didn't go my way, uh, in order to cover any expenses and stuff because of that scam. And while I did sell a lot, and people were amazingly generous and awesome, and was able to cover the scam in case it didn't go my way and stuff like that. I still didn't. I still ended up with a bunch of like guitar pedals, for example, that I did not sell. And after having removed and chose those guitar pedals to sell, kind of occurred to me that I'd really like to see them go to somebody that could use them. So that's why I'm continuing to do auctions. Is really more in hopes just to sell those guitar pedals and like the slip-ons and the cleats that I have no use for, but somebody else might, and maybe make a little extra cash to further my knife addiction, as it were, and you know, clear some space in my very very tiny apartment. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm still holding auctions. This will be my third auction. I held another one. That one was a little slow, but no big deal. It was also a lot more relaxed than the first one. The first one was hectic as heck and was actually a bit stressful. Second one, I just had fun with it, took my time, held a relaxing auction. Didn't sell nearly as much, but that was fine. I had fun, and I'm going to do the same thing again uh, tomorrow. So, and again, if anybody's interested, I'm going to go through my collection later. Going to add some more knives to the auction. Again, I've got a ton of paracord bracelets and matching zipper pulls that I'm going to sell for inexpensively, as well as I'm in the process of making just some zipper pulls. Like I've only had 2 made, so I haven't had that much time. Oh my god, this chair is creaky. Maybe I'll put the money towards getting a new chair. Like I've made a couple zipper pulls. These are the only 2 that I've made that don't have a bracelet attached to them. I was just trying to make zipper pulls themselves. This is a red and black, as you can see. And then this one is a black with it's a pale green, but it's a glow in the dark. And it's one of those things like I said, I'll attach these to zippers, or you can use them as a key ring, lanyard, attached to whatever. And I thought about using more of the glow in the dark because that way it might be something that can help you find something in the dark. Granted, this would have to be charged with a light. It's like your old school glow in the dark where you'd charge it with a flashlight or any other light, and then it will glow in the dark. If I turn off all the lights in this bedroom, this camera will self-adjust, so I can't really show it. Maybe I can. I don't know. It'd be kind of hard to show, but they do glow pretty well. There's just so much light. It's kind of hard to show it. It's kind of glowing a little bit, and then it doesn't want to focus. But trust me, these do glow. But yeah, I'll be selling. I'm going to try to make more zipper pulls. Those are the only 2 that I've made. I actually have more made, but somebody had requested a bunch, and so if they show up, he's going to have first dibs at those. And like I said, I've got a bunch of bracelets. I have all these bracelets with matching zipper pulls. And these have the combination compass, whistle, and fire striker. I do have some paracord bracelets with matching zipper pulls that have plain buckles. If somebody doesn't like the whole compass combination thing, I don't have as many of those made up though. I should make more. And I think I'm losing focus here. I'm gonna apply some wax to this guy. I apply wax to every knife blade. I don't care if it's stainless or not. It's just my thing for a little extra protection. Even stainless can rust if it's neglected. And I don't have enough days in the year to carry every knife that I own, so a lot of these do get stored in cases or in their boxes and can sit there for quite some time. I did notice on blades that I left in storage, because I did have some knives that I left in storage and for lack of a better term, were neglected because they weren't packaged in anything aside from maybe a sheath. Some didn't have a sheath, so they were just out in the open, naked bladed and all. And I did notice one thing about how and they were stainless steel. Keep in mind that these were stainless steel knives. So they're supposed to be pretty corrosion resistant. But one thing I noticed on those knives that didn't have a sheath to them or like weren't covered, I took a careful look at a few other knives that had some corrosion, like some spotting on them, and were left out in the open. And what I found out was a lot of the corrosion that I noticed, those little spots of rust, I think might have been because not only were they left out in the open, but dust would collect on them. And I think what ended up happening is the dust would sometimes maybe collect or attract some moisture. And then that moisture is, that's those spots with dust on them or heavy accumulations of dust. Because of the accumulated moisture, I think that's where the rusting would start. And that's why they would show up in little spots as opposed to just like a, patch of rust. It would be like little spots of rust. I think it's because of the dust. So again, like what I like to do is I'll apply a thin layer of wax, even though these are going to be in a box and probably won't have any issue at all, to be quite honest. Um, but at the very least, if you're going to put your knives away, if they're not going to be in a box or something or in a case, I would highly suggest at least keeping them in a good sheath, so that way dust doesn't collect on the blade itself, and that very well might help prevent any rust from ever really starting on the blade. I always recommend either at least a light oil, if not waxing, though, just in case. It can never hurt. And these should be okay to put back in the box. I wanted to make sure I got rid of all that excess oil. I can't remember what box is what. I can't even remember what card was what now. Oh no! I don't remember what was what, and I probably would have put a card in with the wrong. Oh well. This is missing the cards. This probably has 20 sets of cards, or it doesn't. Oh, okay. Well, I'm missing cards. I don't know where they went. Oh well. I got everything registered. Oh, there it is. I got everything registered. That's all that matters. Okay, that goes here. So, I don't know. I'll probably pull this back out later because I'll probably want to carry this one. To be honest, the black G10 one. Can't get over how much or how nice this red bone is. Such a pretty red bone. Oh, I didn't apply wax to the blades. I should do that. Okay, let's put this there for now. I'll wax the black one later, because I'm probably gonna pull that back out anyway. Let's wax this baby. Or did I wax this already? I might have. Can't remember which ones I've waxed and which ones I haven't. It looks like I might have waxed this already. It might just be the black one I haven't waxed. Ooh, see, that cut right through the cloth. It didn't cut all the way through because I heard it, and then I immediately lifted the pressure. But there's a small cut. I don't know if you can see it, but that just started to cut through the cloth and could have hit my finger if I wasn't careful. Okay, so that's not it. I was just holding the box. Was that it? Good grief. That was it. That's it. Okay, this can go back in here. I'll put that away in my collection. I'll put all those away in my collection. This will stay out here. This is leaving, and that's leaving. Another one I might carry is this one. This is the one from Titan. Only because these are super cool. The only problem with carrying this one is I first of all, I don't want to slip it in a pocket, and I don't have a knife slip that's thick enough or big enough to fit this. This thing is thick. Like, this is a really thick traditional knife. So it's going to have to go in something like this. And I have enough things I carry on my belt. So I'd like to carry this, but I don't know. We'll see. This one, more than definitely, I think I have a slip that'll fit this one. And this one is going to go, this concept with the lightning strike is probably going to go, it's going to stay in this case, wrapped up in a plastic waterproof case, which is then thrown into a lockbox, which is then going to be thrown in my gun cabinet, and will never see the light of day until I decide to pull it out to show people. It's just too pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna need to start putting adding a section on that spreadsheet of where the knife is, as opposed to just what the knife is, so I know where it's at. Because right now I've got like 4-5 separate boxes that are just like full of knives, and if not knives, they're full of like sharpening tools. Some of these boxes don't even close, which I'm just discovering now. Close. Actually, I should put all of my case in one box. I think my cases are spread out amongst like 2 different boxes. And then I have like one box that's literally just dedicated to empty boxes because I have the knives out. Like either I have them out for use because I carry them with me, or display, but I keep the boxes anyway because I'm weird like that. So now I have a box literally just full of boxes. And like I said, I don't collect with the intention to sell. So I don't know. I might start doing away with some of the boxes. I do have knife rolls and stuff like that. Yeah. Case 1, level A4. A rolled case 3, slot 6. Exactly. I'm gonna end up doing that. Slip pile 5, section A. I'm gonna start doing that. That's gonna be a thing. Now I'm gonna have to stretch this out so that way I can use this with another knife. I gotta be careful. There's a little. I wonder if I can smooth that out in there. Not a bad case though. Herringbone. Pretty sweet. Thank you, Appalachia, for that beautiful gift. I'll be using that for something. And thankfully, these come in packs of Lord knows how many. Because I just went through a bunch of these things. I put a link below if you guys are interested in needing some of these little micro swabs. I don't know what they call them. Knife care swabs. These are made from KPL. I'm pretty sure there might be other manufacturers, but yeah, these are same people that make the knife pivot lube KPL oil, which I've gotten enough knives that I'm halfway through. There's just this one vial of KPL has gone through hundreds. It has lubricated hundreds of pivots, and I'm only halfway through. So that's actually a pretty good deal. And this one I carry with me now a lot. It's just a nice little extra. I like this guy. I carry too many knives at the same time. Yeah, this is the one that's going in the safe. But anyway, I think that's going to be it. We've been up for about 3 hours now. That wasn't bad. That was fun. I have fun with these. I hope you guys are enjoying. Again, I'll be having that auction tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to check that out, tune in then. Again, the link for Whatnot, I have a link for Whatnot down below. If you haven't joined Whatnot already, if you are on Whatnot or you're going to join Whatnot and you're looking for me, yes, I'll still be on tonight for the video gaming. But if you're on Whatnot or are going to be on Whatnot and you're looking for me, I have the same user ID on Whatnot, EDC Squirrel. You can peruse what I'm selling on my profile. But do check it out if you're interested. Again, come on by. You don't have to buy anything. Just come on by and chat. I think that would be fun to do. You know, talk about knives or anything else in general. Because, like I said, I'm selling a variety of things. So, and there might be some surprises in there. I don't know if I'm going to be doing some giveaways. I probably will be doing some giveaways as well. Not sure what's going to be in the giveaways, but I'm sure I'll think of something. But links in the description below. I also have links below, and these are affiliated links that will help me out if you guys are interested in purchasing anything. There are links of stuff that I use regularly that you might see during the live. Like, for example, um, I could put a link to this concept knife if you guys are interested. Against 179, they do have them on Amazon. I have links for like the micro swabs, the oil, even what I like to use for sharpening. The Work Sharp. It's like a compact travel sharpener. Love this thing. I use this more than so far. I've used this more than any other sharpening stone, even though I have other really, really good sharpening stones. Just because this is compact, easy to carry, and I can take this around with me, I probably use this more than anything in the world when it comes to like honing and a quick sharpening of a blade. I have a link for that down below, as well as even the camellia oil. So if you want to check out anything like that, use my links. That'll give me a little bit of a return, and it'll help me acquire new stuff that I can show you for the channel. So thanks again for joining me. Hope you guys had fun watching. If you liked what you saw, please drop a like down below. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified, hopefully, whenever I drop a new video. Keep a watch out. I'll be doing more detailed videos. I've actually finished shooting one for the concept. I think I finished one for the scout as well, and I'll be doing a few more as the time moves on. And I think that's pretty much about it as far as I can say. I can see for as far as news is concerned. I'm still on vacation for the next upcoming week, but now that family is not here, I can focus again on doing more videos, and hopefully I'll be able to do more videos throughout the week, as well as the gaming stuff. I do video gaming every night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on a different channel, Gerondo's Game Cave. I've got a link to that down below as well if you're into video gaming. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thanks again for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And bye-bye. I'm just gonna. I still don't have a closing for this one. I'm not gonna play the video game closing. I'm just gonna end this stream like right here. Here's my mascot. Hi. Maybe I should. I have to utilize him more on the auctions at some point. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not selling. This guy's staying with me though. He's not going anywhere. I like that guy.